All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, welcome back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Interestingly enough, we talked a lot of college football yesterday. Of course, with the news that the White House has officially stepped in and has had conversations with Kevin Warren regarding the future of course, the college football, or at least the Big Ten college football season. And now all of a sudden there's a lot of talks of there potentially being a chance for the Big Ten to kick off in the fall, at least at some point. The SEC and others looking to kick off at the end of September. October 10th seems to be a date that a lot of people are kicking around for the Big Ten if some of those rumors are true. But there's a lot of reasons why the urgency needs to be there for the Big Ten season to kick off. And now there's even more of an urgency reason if you are the Ohio State Buckeyes. Something just happened in the SEC that is big news in the SEC, and I think it's some concerning news for Buckeye fans as we sit here and wait to see what the outcome of the Big Ten is going to be. We're going to touch on that at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. Again, big news out of the SEC. We'll get to that in 10 minutes. It involves Georgia, and it could impact Ohio State and quarterback Justin Fields. So we'll get into that coming up here in 10 minutes. But we are back on Facebook. And again, I know we were getting a lot of your reactions. The show cutouts. We're back up and rolling on the new feed. So go back to the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook. And again, tune back in and continue leaving your responses because we lost a lot of those responses from the previous screening of that. So yeah, the SEC, it's always something. It's always something as far as that's concerned. I tell you that much, that we'll get back into. But we were, of course, discussing the Cincinnati Reds and their playoff chances right now. They're 3.5 games out of a wild card, an extended wild card, by the way. Like, more teams are going to make the playoffs this year than ever before. And the Reds have the best roster that they've had in over a decade. And now they're not just, 6.5 games out of their division, which we all knew was going to be tough. I still thought they had enough talent to be able to compete for the division. I even went as far as to say I think they're going to win the division. I did think that they were good enough to win that division as far as that's concerned. But again, when you have that type of pitching, I think you're good enough to win anything. I mean, no one gave the Nationals a shot last year to win the World Series because why? Oh, well, they lost Bryce Harper. There's no way. There's no chance that the Nationals are capable of winning a World Series when they just lost their best player. But as we're finding out, as good as Bryce Harper was and as much as money as he got from the Phillies, the Nationals didn't need Bryce Harper. They didn't need the big bat. They didn't need that mega star in their lineup to win them a World Series. What they needed was pitching, and that's what the Reds have. So, Kev, I get it. When you were questioning, why I was so high on the Reds, it's because the Nationals made me feel that way. The Nationals were telling me, based on their results from last year, that, hey, yes, everyone pays attention to the lineup, which, by the way, the Reds lineup is good enough to win you a lot of ball games, and they're not hitting the ball well. Mm-hmm. And myself, I remember doing the show at Schlemmer, and a lot of baseball minds I talked to say the same thing, that, again, today's baseball, you move guys up and down the lineup all the time, but at least you kind of know where you stand as far as what position you play, how often you're going to play. Multiple people that I talk to that are close with the Cincinnati Reds say a lot of players frustrated with the fact that, hey, they come to the ballpark every day not knowing if they're going to play. Sure, in baseball, there's different orders almost every day, but a lot of times the players understand what role they have. The Reds don't know what role they have. David Bell constantly says, well, we have a lot of guys. We're trying to find ways to shuffle guys in and out. Well, this isn't Little League. This isn't, you don't have to worry about the parents calling you when you get home at night saying, how come my son's not playing? No, you play to win the game, mm-hmm. as Herm Edwards once said. You know play what to win it sounds
like to me? It sounds like that team in college football that keeps shuffling their offensive line, trying to find that perfect 5 guys in the offensive line to get that mesh, and you're just not finding it. But I don't know if that works in professional baseball. Like, you could tell me a lot better than I would know, but like tweaking the lineup constantly over and over and over and over again has got to have some type of mental situation on a hitter, like not knowing if they're going to play or what part of the lineup they're going to be in from day to day. Like, I mean, I understand, like, some guys make switches in the playoffs to throw the other team off, but it just seems like he's throwing his guys off.
And that's the big argument about that last year. And again, in today's baseball, lineups are shuffling all the time, but the communication between manager and player is also to where it can combat that from a mental standpoint. Hey, this series coming up, expect to play every day. Expect, this and that. Like from what I'm hearing from multiple players, in fact, Cody Reed is one that I've heard from about that. The big frustration out of Reds camp was always the fact that it's not that you didn't know from series to series what your role was going to be. You didn't know from night to night what your role was going to be. That was that's the big frustration going on with the Reds right now, as far as that's concerned. And Cody Reed, of course, obviously struggled. He was put on waivers and ended up heading to Tampa. And of course, they're going to turn him into a Cy Young candidate. That's just how that works as far as that's concerned. He was, he had a lot of potential, but they were never like, how do you continue to get guys like that where you can't find a way to tap into that potential? A super tall, athletic lefty like that, and you couldn't figure out how to use him. Like, that's a problem. All we hear from the Reds is that they go and get that whatever David Bodie or whatever his name is, that they're using, of course, through Trevor Bauer. And they go and get that, and they say, oh, man, this is going to take Reds pitching to another level. Well, what do you mean level? Like upper deck? Because that's what the Cardinals did last night. They took Reds pitching to another level. They took them to the upper deck. So I don't know what that's supposed to mean. That stuff's getting frustrating, too. The Reds they're trying. They're just failing all at the same time. And we'll see tonight. Again, we have the Reds lineup for you here. Let's take a look at the Reds lineup for tonight. Again, the Cincinnati Reds wrap up the series tonight with the St. Louis Cardinals at Great American Ballpark. Joey Votto leading things off. He'll bat first and get the start at first base. Batting second in the right field is Nick Castellanos. The DH is batting third. That's Jesse Winker. Eugenio Suarez, he'll bat in the cleanup spot. He'll get the start at third base. At second, batting fifth is Mike Moustakas. How about Brian Goodwin? The newest Cincinnati Red, at least in the lineup. He'll start in center field tonight. Still no Nick Senzel. He's batting sixth. Batting seventh, one of the newer faces called up to the Reds recently, shortstop Jose Garcia. Shogo Akiyama, he'll start in left field, and he'll bat eighth. And batting ninth is Tucker Barnhart, who, of course, will start behind home plate tonight with the catcher. One more time, your Reds lineup. Joey Votto at first, Nick Castellanos in right, Jesse Winker, the DH. That's your 1, 2, and 3 hitter. Third base, second base, center fielder. 3, 4, and 5 belongs to Eugenio Suarez, Mike Moustakas, and Brian Goodwin. Jose Garcia, he'll get the start at shortstop. Batting seventh, eighth, and ninth belongs to Shogo Akiyama in left field, and Tucker Barnhart behind the plate tonight. He'll catch and bat ninth. Tyler Mahle will look to try and put an end to the Reds the Reds pitching struggles here, as we are off and rolling to close out this game with the Cardinals. But again, the Reds 6.5 out of the division, 3.5 out of the wild card. The struggles continue for the Reds. Will they continue tonight? Here's hoping that is not the case. Let's go to the comment section in Facebook. Again, we're back up and rolling on Facebook. We got bumped off for a few, but we're back up and rolling, and the comments are back to coming in. Again, let's go to Doug. Doug says, if you're a pro, you should always be ready. I'm not saying I agree with everything Bell does, but a pro needs to be a pro. Like you said, it's not Little League. Doug, did you watch the Reds game last night? The Cardinals didn't look like Little League, but my goodness, the Reds look like, come on. Doug, and we've had this conversation the last couple of days about the balance of player responsibility versus the responsibility of a coach / manager. I'm not saying that there's no responsibility put on the players. And, of course, someone on Twitter the other night brought up the fact that, hey, if, the players are who you need to blame. That's why they put so much money into the players. Well, no, that's why you blame the manager. It's easier to blame the manager because you can cut ties with the manager, because you're not going to go and cut another guy who you're paying $15 to $20 million a year, like a Castellanos or a Moustakas at that point. Joey Votto, love to cut him, but of course you're going to be paying him, $25 million a year to not play. That's the other reason that they continue to stick him in that lineup. They need to try to justify the $25 million a year, which I don't blame the Reds. If you move, I'm not saying move on from Votto, but if you limit his role, I'm fine with that. When you give a guy a big max contract like that, you're not really paying him to be the MVP for 12 full years. You're paying him for 12 years knowing that you're going to get the MVP production for probably 6 to 7 of the 12 years. And we're at the back end of that contract, and we should expect to not have the Joey Votto of old. We should expect the old Joey Votto. Travco says, mark it down, the leadoff homer for Votto tonight. The COVID birds are going down. I call them the COVID Cardinals. Yeah, the Cincinnati Reds and the COVID Cardinals. You have the self-reporting Reds going up against the COVID Cardinals. The Reds, have had multiple COVID scares. players. Now, they have had a player, Nick Senzel, without it being officially reported. I mean, we're just assuming and connecting dots. I mean, he has yet to come out and announce that it was him who has it, so we're speculating here. But if you connect the dots, I think it's pretty easy to figure out why he's been out. It's not a tweaked ankle or anything along those lines or a bad back, so we shall see. David Shaw says, Travco not happening. Well, Votto probably will hit a home run tonight because that's what happens. Every time I bash that guy, he goes on a run. That's why, if you notice, I don't beat up on Joey Votto too much. But maybe I need to. Maybe I need to start beating up on every one of them throughout the lineup, and maybe they'll all prove me wrong. I have no problem being wrong.
Bashed on them last week pretty hard, man.
He was hitting 192.
And he didn't. Well, I guess he did break out of it a little bit.
Yeah, he was
hitting, not with wins, though.
He was hitting 192. The Joey Votto lovers on Twitter just absolutely destroyed me. And then he had a good game, and they said, "Oh, I bet you feel pretty stupid." And I responded with, "The Reds lost 5-0. What are you talking about?" Like, what? Because Joey Votto got a few hits and a shutout loss. I mean, yeah, I feel so stupid. I mean, that's insane to me as far as that goes. But all right, hour one was fun. Hour one now officially in the books. Hour two coming up. Big news out of the SEC. Georgia starting quarterback has opted out. Speaking of COVID, quarterback Jamie Newman has opted out of the upcoming season for the Georgia Bulldogs. And you have to ask yourself, why all of a sudden now the concerns that Jamie Newman has listed as to why he's opting out, those same concerns existed weeks and weeks and weeks before. I give him credit for trying. But again, this is big news, not just for Georgia and the SEC, but it could impact your Buckeyes. We've been hearing those rumors circulating for a while, ever since the Big Ten announced that they were no longer going to play in the fall. The Justin Fields transfer market conversation has come into play. Well, now it seems like the stars are starting to align. Should you panic? Big Ten, hurry up. If you want to see Justin Fields remain a Buckeye, the Big Ten needs to hurry up. We're going to discuss when we come back. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash when we come back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
No. Yep. No worries. Be there in a jiffy.
Did you know a jiffy is an actual unit of time? 1/50th of a second.
Well, did you know Cricket has nationwide 5G?
Whoa, so I can use my phone faster than ever.
Yup.
Okay. But how many jiffies would it take exactly? 1 jiffy? 2 jiffy? Surprising, but true. Cricket has nationwide 5G. Smile. You're on Cricket.
Compatible plan and device required for 5G access. 5G may not be available in your area. For 5G coverage, see cricketwireless.com.
In uncertain times, you can be certain of this. The Salvation Army is serving those most in need with help and hope. Thanks to your donations, the Salvation Army is helping those affected by COVID-19, those who've lost wages, who have no home to retreat to, who need food, help with utilities, and most of all, hope. To see how you can continue to make a difference, visit GiveWestwood.org. GiveWestwood.org.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
After falling to the Los Angeles Lakers in the 1982 NBA Finals, the 76ers needed to find the right player to build the ultimate winning team. In September of '82, they acquired restricted free agent Moses Malone. They went on to rack up a 65-17 regular season record and followed that up with a 12-1 postseason record. Malone won the regular season and NBA Finals MVP award.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
Adding a leader you need right when you need them. That's how sports teams get ahead and how your business can too. LinkedIn will match the right talent with your open roles fast. Post a job and you'll get great candidates with the right mix of skills, interest, and experience. So every hire you make is a win for your business. Go to linkedin.com/sports and get $50 off your first job post. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
There are people who say things aren't made here anymore. Those people should make a trip to Michigan or Kentucky or Illinois, where you'll find our workers and dealers and engineers and technicians building at the Ford Motor Company the same way we have for over a century, in the same place for the same reason. Built for America.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what covering your bases is in baseball, right? Making sure you have no holes in your defense. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. And you'll pay up to 50% less than big carriers and still use their same networks. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data and 2G. No contract, no mystery fees. Fully covering your bases for 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Find the high-impact hire your business needs fast on Indeed. No long-term contracts and lots of great candidates at Indeed.com/high-impact.
There are many ways to catch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. You can catch it live right here on 1410 Wing AM, or you can stream the show at wingam.com. But now we have another way that you can take in the show. You can now watch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash live on ESPN Dayton's Facebook page. Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Byers Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio. WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show, live here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kinner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kinner.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, back with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. All right, everybody, if you want a chance to win a copy of the brand new PGA 2K21 video game, you can enter now at wingam.com. We have multiple copies of the 2K21, the PGA 2K21 video game on Xbox One and PS4. So if you have one of those gaming consoles, of course, and want to get the brand new PGA 2K21 video game, enter now at wingam.com. It doesn't cost you a thing except maybe about 30 seconds of your time. So head to wingam.com, register. We had 5 winners last Friday. We're going to be announcing about another 10 plus winners coming up this weekend. So make sure that you get your registration, and you can register more than once. Take advantage of the bonus entries. The more entries you have, the better chance you have of coming away or walking away with one of the 2K21 PGA Tour video games for PS4 or Xbox One. So one more time, head to wingam.com, register right now. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, back with you here. By the way, I went golfing last night, Kevin. It's official. I'm still better at golf on that PGA 2K21 video game than I am out on the course. And I see that David keeps trying to ask me what I shot last night, and I purposely keep ignoring him.
Oh, come on, man. People want to know, man. People want to track your progress.
Well, it was about 38, 39, but that's only because we only got through 7. So we only got through 7. We only got through 7 because obviously it got dark. That's why I put on Facebook last night. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's that time of year. I mean, I'm used to, like, so the show ends at 6. I'm used to making tee times around, 6, in between 6:45, 6:55 to give me a shot. You know what I mean? So last night, we have a tee time for 6:24. That's why the second that the show ended, I bolted the hell out of here, and I literally got there 6:23 on the dot. So I had plenty, not plenty, but just enough time. And we're hole 7. I'm like, it's almost pitch dark outside. They're messaging us, hey, the carts needed to be back by this time. I'm like, we're trying to finish our 9. So yes, it was like a 38 after 7. So I would have probably been around 50. Look, David Shaw. Why gotta be so cold, David? Shocking. I've never once pretended to be good. I mean, like, just because I go golfing doesn't mean I'm good at golfing. I mean, I had a carrot the other day. Doesn't mean I'm skinny. I mean, come on. Like, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, man, it gets dark super early.
I love it. I love when it gets dark early.
Really?
Yeah.
I despise
Nora hates it. I hate sunlight. I don't know why. I just do.
Vampire?
Yep. I can't stand it. I can't, so our living room, the sun just, like, when I come home from work, I hate our living room. I never sit in because the sun is just literally piercing through the window. We have curtains up, but they're still not blocking out the sun. So I never go in. I hate it. I love when I come home from work and it's dark. I come home, make dinner, turn on the TV, watch some basketball during that time. Oh man, it's the best. So I'm looking forward to that around the corner.
Ugh.
Speaking of basketball, I don't know if you heard, but it was Dave Rothstein. I think that's who it was So on Twitter. I got to go back and find it, but he said rumors are right now that we're talking into November, early December for college basketball tipping off.
You're going to get your way.
Kind of getting my way. My thing is still, with the season supposed to tip off on November 2nd or whatever, and I always say November 2nd because my birthday is November 2nd, and it's always great to me because that's right when basketball is usually tipping off within a week or two, front or back. But what's the difference, Kay? Like, what is that 4 weeks doing for you? I'm just curious. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if they would have tipped off in January, I would be like, okay, that sucks. I still think it's crap because I'm like, how can you justify all the other sports, kicking off on time? Like the SEC, Ohio State, if they end up having a fall season, could kick off around October 10th if the rumors are true.
Well, technically, they're not kicking off on time because they're supposed to be kicking off this week.
Who?
College football. It's supposed to be.
By the way, do you realize that if Kevin Warren didn't just totally botch all of this and have a schedule come out 2 days before they pulled the plug, do you realize that we would be talking about the Buckeyes kicking off the season tomorrow? Like, you know what I mean? Like, September 3rd, tomorrow, we should have been talking about that. We should have been talking about the Buckeyes kicking off the season tomorrow. But okay, fair enough. But to be fair, college football had a lot of self-inflicted wounds on itself anyways.
Yes.
Wait, basketball, I'm holding basketball to a little higher standard because not only do you have more time to prepare than what football even did since March, you also get to learn from the mistakes of football. And even if they're not kicking off on time, Kevin, the bottom line is the time that, or while they are playing during a time that the basketball season should be tipping off anyways. So UD, Wright State, Ohio, everyone should be tipping off on time, in my opinion. But you know what? If the only delay to the college basketball season is a month, Flyer fans, you know what I mean? Like, you'll be fine. I'll be fine. You'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like, that's a good thing. That means that's another, extra month of the season than what we were actually expecting as far as that's concerned. So we shall see. Do you still think it tips? Again, that's not even official, by the way. Those are, again, we live in the world of sources nowadays, and Rothstein says his sources tell him that September is supposed to be, I think it's the end of September or mid-September when they're supposed to make a decision on the status of college basketball.
There will be a college basketball season.
They have no choice. And especially if there's college football, there's 1,000% going to be a basketball season. But Flyer fans don't care about that per se. They care about, how many can fill up the arena. Right. And I'm with them. I'm with them on that. Like, I get it. Look, we have our fun. I take my little shots here and there, but there is nothing out there that rivals the passion of UD basketball. And the stuff that does rival it is, like the high power football. You know what I mean? Like, their fan base rivals some of the best fan bases in the country at all the bigger schools. So I get why that's going to be tough. But again, we're witnessing that with Ohio State right now. Ohio State fans, not only can they not go to games, they can't even watch the games because there may not be a Big Ten season. And if there's not a Big Ten season, that's bad news for the Ohio State Buckeyes. And I'll tell you why. You and I have been on opposite sides of this. And again, who knows what's going to end up happening as far as Justin Fields is concerned. But right now, the feel is that there is a chance for the Big Ten to possibly kick off coming up on October 10th. Now, there's no official word out there. In fact, even the statement from the Big Ten yesterday really wasn't very comforting in regards to them saying, I would expect a statement that would have sounded a little bit more upbeat. Like, following our conversation with the president, we now feel like we are in good, we now feel like we have more information for us to go back to the drawing board. And that's not what that statement said yesterday. Right. And then you have Heather Dinich, who we're still ironing out a time. She's going to be joining us here coming up shortly. She's with ESPN. She goes on Get Up this morning and basically says that her sources are telling her that regardless of the noise out there of a potential Big Ten season kicking off on October 10th, that her sources within the Big Ten are telling her absolutely not, that nothing really has changed. It might have sparked a little conversation between the top, up at the top, but it really has not led to serious conversation of actually having plans to come back come October 10th. Now, that could be wrong. Maybe it is. But the point is we don't know what's happening, and the Big Ten is in a weird spot. But so is Ohio State.
Limbo.
Ohio State has a ton of talent, and they've been very fortunate that no one has opted out up to this point. And I don't know if people will opt out or not, and opting out isn't necessarily a bad thing. If a player doesn't feel safe playing and he opts out, more power to him. If a player opts out because he wants to prepare for the upcoming NFL draft, more power to him. I think that we were all, like Sean Wade, Justin Fields, those are the type of guys we were expecting to possibly be in a position to make that decision. And instead, the Big Ten made it for him by basically pulling the plug on the fall season. But here's where things get a little interesting. For a while now, we've been talking about what happens if a player wants to transfer because their conference isn't allowing them to play this fall. And now there's an opportunity for them to play this fall if they transfer. I still think that the NCAA would have no choice but to grant them that waiver to transfer because it's out of the hands of the player as to why they're not playing. They're not playing because they were suspended or because they got in trouble. They're not playing because their conference chose not to play while the other conferences did. I don't see how you regulate that and punish a player if they really want to play one more year before going to the NFL. I do think Justin Fields, if he ever chooses to transfer, if the Big Ten doesn't get their stuff together, I think he would get approved. It would anger some, but I think he would get approved as far as that's concerned. Now, here's where things get interesting. Again, Justin Fields transferred from Georgia to Ohio State.
Right.
He was spotted over the weekend at a Georgia practice.
Right.
Now, the reports come out that he was just there visiting former friends and family, which I believe he was. He's from Georgia. His family lives there. I believe that. If you really dissect the reasons for why he left Georgia, it does seem a little weird that the picture that was painted as to what led him to wanting to leave Georgia, that would be, that to me you would think that would be a very weird situation to come back to, and that he's hanging around the coaches, hanging around the players, hanging around the program. More power to you, but you take that, and with the news that's coming out today that Georgia quarterback Jamie Newman has opted out of the 2020 college football season. Again, coming from Wake Forest, he's preparing for the upcoming NFL season. Now Georgia's looking for a starting quarterback.
Yep.
And that's where things become a little interesting as far as Justin Fields is concerned. I think if he picked up the phone or he, and texted or called Kirby and said, I want to come back, I think he's as good as a Bulldog, barring any kind of, pushback from the NCAA. This is an interesting development right here. But again, this is why we talked about yesterday, Kevin. Everyone's acting like, well, how come they get to play and we don't? There is so much happening that is to still highlighting the world we live in during a pandemic. Players are opting out left and right. Yep. Players are concerned. We're 2 weeks or 3 weeks away from kicking off the college football season for the SEC. And he just now, after practicing for weeks, just now decides to opt out and focus on the draft. What's changing? What's getting in these kids' minds? Because they've been practicing for a few weeks now. Why all of a sudden now are you starting to see a mass exodus of players? UCF had 10 players opt out, I think just yesterday or the day before. Notre Dame has had a huge outbreak on their campus. You look at North Carolina, NC State, LSU lost their best player, their best offensive weapon, top wide receiver in the upcoming NFL draft. And Ed Orgeron said the other day, to expect a larger list of players to be opting out soon for LSU. So there's a lot of concern even amongst the players. We could talk about the conferences and, it's safe to play. There is still enough concern there that is leading to players deciding to forego this upcoming season. Ohio State's fighting like hell to play this season. You have players who can play who are opting out and choosing not to.
Right.
It's just a crazy world right now. It's
beyond crazy world. Not even just guys that are going to be first and second round picks. Is borderline guys that are going to be drafted or guys that aren't even going to be playing in the NFL opting out. Maybe it's the concern of like the influx of people on campus, and maybe it's a family situation. It could be 1,000,001 different reasons why these guys are deciding to opt out now. But the key point is they're opting out. So we already seen like top guys from the Big Ten opt out, and I harp on it until it happens. If there's a Big Ten football season, Ohio State better win it, because there's a lot of talent that has left the Big Ten, and all your talent is still there. You are more talented than anybody in the conference anyway. But now those teams that have talent, the big dogs have left. The Rondale Moores are gone. Bateman from Minnesota, gone. The 2 offensive linemen from Michigan, gone. Micah Parsons from Penn State, gone. I mean, you look at guys that's opting out at LSU left and right to have 2 starters.
I forgot about Micah Parsons. Yep. Minnesota's wide receiver as well.
Bates. Yep. 2 guys. And they only returned 2 starters on LSU's entire starting 11. Derek Stingley Jr. and the linebacker. Nobody from the offense. Nobody from the offense is back. Like, this is set up for Ohio State to win a national championship. My question to you is, whoever wins the national championship, I'm starting to, before I was like, no, it's not an asterisk. It is what it is. But now you got entire conferences opting out. Now you got the best of the best players opting out. Go ahead and put that asterisk on it.
So Travko's a big Michigan fan. And he said, cancel the Big Ten. I need a year with no loss to the Buckeyes. So there you go. I mean, that is true. This will be the first year in the history of Harbaugh's career since coming to Michigan that he will not end the year with an Ohio State loss. Maybe, unless the 10th all of a sudden comes to play. But just so you know, and I'm getting lit up too. Oh, you're just stirring the pot. Go to Twitter, folks. I'm not stirring the pot. Justin Fields' name is trending right now. Why do you think it's trending? Do you think that we're back on the hashtag we want to play campaign for Justin Fields? No.
Yeah, that didn't work.
Justin Fields, and by the way, when Justin Fields was doing the whole hashtag I want to play, he's serious about wanting to play this fall. He did that whole campaign without going to his coach first. Now, again, the school came out and supported what he was doing. I have no clue what that was right now. Anyway, but the school ended up supporting Justin Fields' push to, for the hashtag I want to play, petition that was being signed. But he did that all on his own. And again, I don't think there's any ill will between him and Ohio State. I don't think that this is a Ohio State players versus the university. I think it's just there's roadblocks being set up by the Big Ten. So when I say that the Big Ten, the urgency to make a decision, they need to make a decision, or Kev, they need to not make a decision because of this decision right here. I found this interesting. David says, and again, we're live on Facebook. Search the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook. You can watch, you can interact by commenting in the chat section, and we'll interact with you throughout the show. But David says if he's going to transfer, he better hurry up. To your point, Kevin, time is running out for him having the time to learn the offense. And I know people are probably saying, yeah, well, he's played there before. They brought in a whole new system.
They built that offense for Jamie Newman.
Yep.
They built that whole entire offense.
Jamie Newman said deuces.
You know what? So, and that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't get the point of trying to transfer to another school where a quarterback like Jamie Newman, who I've seen play before, I think he's pretty good. I think he has NFL potential. We all know Justin Fields has NFL potential. If he's opting out to train for the NFL draft, why in the world would Justin Fields transfer to college to play and potentially risk getting hurt, minus COVID-19 and all that type of stuff, potentially get hurt, potentially put up bad numbers because you're in a situation where you're uncomfortable. It's a whole new offense, it's a whole new playbook, rather than just opting out and preparing for the NFL draft, getting with one of these QB gurus and just work on your craft nonstop. I mean, basically, you don't go to school. That would be school. You working on your NFL craft. I think it's just a safer route for him to go as opposed to trying to force your way to play this year. I would be very interested to hear from Mel Kiper about Justin Fields' draft grade. Like, they can enter to get a draft grade, and a lot of these guys that are juniors and potentially coming back, they come back to try to improve their draft stock. I would like to see what they said he needs to improve on, because I mean, the things that you and I see from just watching film or watching games isn't the same thing that the NFL scouts are looking at. We as fans see, oh man, he threw for 350 yards, 4 touchdowns, but he's throwing the wide open receivers because he plays at Ohio State and he's so much talent around him. Can he really fit those passes in the small windows? Is he making the right reads? Like, let's not be mistaken here, man. When you play at a juggernaut like Ohio State, Alabama, I mean, you're going to put up numbers because you have so much offensive talent around you. I mean, you look at a guy like Mark Sanchez. When Mark Sanchez was at USC, he had a ton of talent around him. He only started 1 year, much like Fields. He went high in the draft. He had one good season, and the rest was down the toilet because he didn't have those reps. So I would like to see what the NFL scouts said Justin Fields needs to work on, because I don't necessarily think that you need to actually go somewhere and play to work on those things. I think you can work on whatever you need to work on at a private training facility. I just don't think it's a smart move for him to transfer. I think it's bad. I personally think it's even bad for him to try to come out and play this year at Ohio State, to be perfectly honest.
Well, I'm glad you followed it up with that, because I was just about to say, well, if he's going to play, he's going to play outside of the potential pitfall of risking going to learn a new offense and maybe not being comfortable in a new offense and maybe looking a little, sketchy this coming up season with Georgia, if that's the case, he would make himself vulnerable to that. But I think we're also ignoring the fact that maybe this kid just wants to play.
Yeah. You know what? You're 100% correct.
Now, I'm using a response that I wouldn't accept, to be fair, because I think every kid wants to play. I mean, like, we always say this too, like the Zions of the world and, in basketball, or Obi Toppin. Well, I mean, he really liked his teammates. Obi had a lot of fun at UD. Maybe there's a chance. I love seeing that. I saw that on Twitter a lot about Obi potentially, coming back. And I was like, he's gone. He's as good as God. I mean, the second that they got to the Maui Invitational Championship game against Kansas, the second that happened, he was gone before that game even happened. He was gone. So, like, when I was seeing people, some UD fans on Twitter, I was just laughing. But they were using the same responses of, well, maybe, he really likes it here. He loves playing for Anthony Grant. He loves his teammates. Jalen Crutcher's still here. He can come back with him, and they can maybe make a run at the NCAA tournament next year and, unfinished business. Again, all those narratives are fair. I think they're very real, but these kids, they want to play. They love their schools. Justin Fields loves Ohio State the way Obi loves UD. But at the end of the day, eventually something in their head's going to say, okay, but I have millions on the line.
Yeah, and
Obi wasn't going to come back another year at UD and potentially risk millions that he's going to make being drafted here in a few weeks.
And that's where your parents come into play. That's where your coach comes into play, because if you truly want what's best for the kid, what's truly best for the kid is for Obi to bounce. What's best for Obi wasn't coming back to UD this upcoming season. The best thing for him was to bounce and get ready for the NBA. And honestly, a lot of these coaches need to be doing those type of things, because especially in this environment we're playing now, you're further putting yourself at risk. Like, okay, say they give the green light for the Buckeye season to happen, the Big Ten season to happen, starting on October 10th. Like, there's no bye week. You're going to crunch 9-10 games into a 9-week period. Like, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. And I mean, I know, yes, it's Buckeye Nation, it's Buckeyes against the world, it's OHIO and all that great stuff like that. I'm here for it all. But at some point, you do have to put yourself first. And your ultimate goal is to play in the NFL and to be a professional athlete and do all the things that are necessary for that. I don't think playing in a truncated season like this is best for Justin Fields. As a matter of fact, I don't think it's best for, Sunshine down there at Clemson either. Like, you and I talked about it when Travis Etienne from Clemson decided to come back for his senior year. Like, what are you doing? What are you thinking about, man? You are a running back. As you love to point out, running backs are a dime a dozen once you get to the NFL. And I'll say that you only have so many hits on your body as a running back. Why waste them for free? Like, gone, out of here. 3 years removed from high school, every running back should be leaving, no matter if you're going to be drafted or not.
I think he bet on himself too. I think Etienne knew he was one of the best backs in football last year, but he also looked at how many backs were coming out. I mean, you had J.K. Dobbins, you had Jonathan Taylor, and then there were running backs that were taken before, we even got to, the two best running backs in college football last year, Jonathan Taylor and J.K. Dobbins, they were the third and fourth running backs taken off the board last year. Etienne could have been anywhere between the third and sixth, which, whatever. But again, he wants to be the for sure thing. He said, I could be one of the top running backs coming out this season, but next year, and I've already looked at the grades for running backs next year because they were great. Like you talked about the grades, the scouting reports or whatever. I didn't see one for quarterbacks, but they put one out for running backs. Etienne will be the first running back taken off the board next year. So he's betting on himself as far as that's concerned.
I'm trying to think. Etienne
won't be Trey Sermon.
Yeah, definitely not. Gainwell from Memphis. Like it's transitioning to that type of offense where you have to be able to catch the ball out the backfield, and those two guys definitely can do it. And honestly, if I'm Travis Etienne, this is my second opportunity to not play this season. I'm not playing. I will opt out.
They're playing because they're going to win a national championship. Funny or not, but that's their mindset. They felt they could have won it last year. They got back-to-back championship games. They want to make it three.
You make a great argument, man, because I'm just thinking of it from my perspective, but I'm actually not the one out there sacrificing my body and being there for my teammates and everything like that. I'm strictly thinking of it from a business standpoint, while they're thinking from it from a like, hey, I want to be there. I want to go down in history and all that type of stuff. So, I can't knock anybody for trying to play out the season. My backup team, Florida State, Marvin Wilson is the number 3 rated defensive tackle. He came back for his senior year from some strange reason. Don't know why. Wouldn't have did it. Tamarion Terry, highly guarded wide receiver, came back for some strange reason hey, I'm going to benefit from them coming back if there's a season. I wouldn't have did it, but kudos to them, man. Go ahead, do your thing, get your education and ball out on the field, and hopefully your draft stock rises. But a lot of these guys are opting out, man, and I can't knock them for it, man.
I think the more look, we always talk about fear of getting hurt to potentially losing money down the road. David asked a good question. Of course, the comments are piling up and I lost it. There it is. David Shaw says, then why do any of the college players play? I agree with David on that. I mean, look, injuries are part of the game, right, one way or another. And you mean to tell me that Justin Fields was just concerned about his $1 million contract in the NFL last year is what he is going to be this coming up season? I mean, look, we learned in the NBA coming up this year, who's the kid that didn't even make it 2 games in the season from Memphis, James Wiseman. Wiseman's a lottery pick, and he played 3 games in college last year. I mean, I think other top high school talent like that's going to say, you know what? Look, he made it to a lottery pick, and they're just banking off of the excitement and hype from what he did in high school and in the prep level. So they might just say, hey, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to risk getting hurt in college. I'll just prepare for the NBA draft a year from now. So college could be the same thing. I understand the fear of getting hurt, but at the end of the day, these kids are as good as they are. They put too much work into being afraid of getting hurt to get to the NFL, especially because they're going to university. Like, I get why, if you have NFL talent at Iowa, why you might want to sit out. Okay, you're not going to risk everything to go win the Idaho Bowl. All right, you know what I mean? Like, you're just not. You may love playing, you may love your teammates, but you have more to lose than anything. Justin Fields might actually say this, man. Nothing will replace $1 million. But you know what? If I risk it all to go win a national championship, and I get my national championship and get hurt and end up not making millions that's still going to suck, but he's going to at least say, hey, I got my national championship. That's what I fought for. But every player is different as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, man. But I get you. But I think about guys like Marcus Lattimore. He was a running back at South Carolina. He tore up his knee, worked his butt off, came back, tore up his knee again. I look at Jake Butt from...
What a horrible name.
from Michigan, played in the Orange Bowl, was projected to be a top round pick, messed up his knee, fell in the draft. We look at what happened with Braxton Miller. He blew his shoulder out, and he had a cup of coffee in the NFL. It's like those type of things, and those are happening in, as you would say, meaningless bowl games. That's what I just think this whole season is meaningless now. I admit it. I was one of those guys like, hey, man, whoever wins the championship, they're the champion. It is what it is. We just got to suck it up. But just more and more I sit back and look at it, you basically have the Big Ten out. You have the Pac-12 out. Now you're losing tons and tons of first-round talent from all schools across the country. It is going to have an asterisk on it. And this isn't the season that anybody signed up for. So if I'm an upperclassman with NFL dreams and NFL potential, I'm opting out. Now, if I'm a freshman and a sophomore, I'm thinking this is my opportunity to showcase my talent and then become a superstar next season when we're quote unquote back to normal, But I mean, I can't knock anybody for opting out. Now, I definitely won't knock anybody for staying in to try to win some games, win the championship, up their draft stock.
I disagree about the asterisk thing, because right now you have Alabama, Clemson still in. If you have if something big happens to one of those two teams, Trevor Lawrence and ETN for Clemson says, you know what, I'm out. I'm opting out to prepare for the NFL draft. Then there's an asterisk. You could say Ohio State, that there's an asterisk because they're not playing. But let's be clear, they haven't won a national championship since 2014. The two teams that have been taking care of the national championship picture have been Alabama and Clemson the entire time. And I feel like as long as the two dynasty-driven teams, which is LSU or which is Clemson and Alabama, as long as they're still in it and they're fully healthy, if those are the two teams that meet for a championship game at the end of the season, I feel like you can't put an asterisk there because of that right there, because those two teams are always going to be there. And you could say, oh, well, Ohio State would have something to say about it. They haven't had anything to say about Clemson in the history of college football. So I disagree.
So if it comes down to, say, North Carolina and Tennessee, and
ain't no way they're getting it.
I'm just saying, North Carolina and Tennessee meet for the national
if they're in, that means Alabama had a bunch of players leave. Georgia's out. LSU's out.
Then they get an asterisk.
Yes, because it's North Carolina and Tennessee.
You can't change it, man.
Yes, you can. If Alabama and Clemson play the championship, they're the two best teams in college football.
No, I'm saying if nobody opts out. Nobody opts out, and North Carolina and Tennessee play for the national championship.
That's not happening. That's not. I mean, Kev. That's
North
if you're going to
Carolina,
bring up like
Tennessee.
scenarios like that, they have to be realistic.
That is realistic. I mean, that's why they play the game. Nobody expected App State to beat Michigan, but it happened. Nobody expects your random MAC school to show up.
We're talking Cinderella little upsets. We're not talking about runs to the college football playoff.
The MAC goes into Big Ten country at least once a season and pulls off an upset. Not at Ohio State, but one random MAC school pulls that upset that nobody saw coming. Like, that's why you play the game.
No, that's how you play a game. That's why the NCAA tournament, it's fun because that one game could spark maybe a 2-game run. But in college football, that's why I love the college football playoff, because those 4 teams are literally the best of the best. Because the playoffs, I mean, you're rewarded with the college football playoff because you took care of business in the regular season. Unless you're, of course.
I mean, COVID outbreaks the week before Clemson and North Carolina play. Etienne and Trevor Lawrence can't play. North Carolina wins. They keep on pushing.
But the thing is, that won't be respected because it's just like I don't respect the Raptors for winning the NBA championship last year. Like, let's be.
That's part of the game.
It's not part of the game.
It's not part of the game. Injuries are part of the game.
Injury, tweaked ankles, and having to all that. But your 3 best players all out. That doesn't happen. That just doesn't happen.
It happened.
The basketball gods were shining down on the Raptors, and then who got the last laugh? The basketball gods, as they took Kawhi Leonard out of Canada. So there you go.
I think they're happy with their championship. Shoot,
they should be happy with their championship. North Carolina would be happy with their championship too, but everyone outside of North Carolina would be pointing and laughing.
Magic Johnson, his rookie year when they won the championship with the Lakers, Kareem got hurt. Mm-hmm. They still won. They took care of business. Injuries happen.
Oh my goodness! You're going to compare the Lakers, who had a super team, compared to the Raptors?
Not the rookie year.
You still had Kareem. I mean, you really the Warriors. Who are the Warriors going to win with? Who are the Warriors going to win?
I'm just saying, you got the all-time leading scorer in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar getting hurt.
David said, "Kev, get off the weed." The Stephen A. voice.
I'm just saying that happened. You play the game, man.
A lot of things happen. A lot of things happen. But remember what did we say the other day? Outliers. Outlier Nash. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Outlier Nash on 1410.
It amazes me you think like that.
It amazes me that you think North Carolina winning a national championship, if COVID impacts Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and everyone else. It
already has impacted Ohio State. Mm-hmm. We're not playing.
Oh, no, it didn't impact Ohio State. Kevin Warren impacted Ohio State. But if Clemson and Alabama get to the national championship game and play, the 2 best teams right there are playing. They've proven that the 2 best teams in college football the last 5-6 years. Ohio State's right there, but again, they haven't been to the national championship game since 2014. That's a long time. We'll be back in a moment.
Direct your hate mail to Justin Kinner.
Oh, they know.
I'm here for you, Buckeye Nation.
They know my address and the number. It's on speed dial. We'll be back in a moment.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Slight chance of showers this afternoon with a high of 83 degrees. Tonight, slight chance of thunderstorms and showers down to a low of 68. And tomorrow, chance of showers with a high of 85. I'm Leanna Ray for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane. 98% of their customers recommend Cullet. If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, check them out at culletpropane.com.
Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen. Our Roosters family would like to thank all of our loyal Roosters guests who have supported us during these challenging times. Without you, we wouldn't have been able to keep our team members employed. We are striving to do everything we can to keep you and our team safe. Find a location near you at roosterswings.com. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Hi folks, it's me again, and I'm cooking in the sun just like you are. But you can still plant those trees and shrubs right now, and with proper watering, still gain a full summer's growth. We keep our garden center fully stocked all summer long with thousands of good, healthy trees, shrubs, evergreens, perennials, and annuals, because we know that some folks just can't get it all done in the spring. Also, this time of year, there are lots of bargains all over our 6-acre nursery and greenhouses. We have potted rose bushes as low as $14.95. Flats of annuals starting at $12.95. And hanging baskets as low as $6.95. We still have a great selection of Rose of Sharon, boxwoods, hydrangeas, and barberry. So come out to 1309 Brent Pike, and remember we're open 7 days.
Napa know-how.
Get all the quality parts you need at your locally owned Napa. Because right now, when you order from Napa online, you can pick up curbside at your local store in just 30 minutes. Or get your order delivered direct to your door with free one-day shipping and over 160,000 quality parts when you spend $35 or more. Quality parts delivered quickly and safely. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating stores, standard ground shipping and exclusions apply.
The Fantasy Focused Football Podcast.
People should read the entire article because the headline that was clipped about 15 to 25 touches was immediately followed by, provided the running back's knee can stay healthy throughout the season. Dirk Cutter back in May said he knows that Todd Gurley can still do it. It's just a question of how often he can do it. And now we're hearing reports about how good he looks in camp.
The Fantasy Focused Football Podcast. Check it out on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Right now, Allstate has almost as many ways to save as there are types of music. Save for being a new customer. Save for driving safely. Save for driving less with pay-per-mile insurance. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent to get a quote. Find out how much you can save today. Allstate. Now that should be music to your ears.
Not available in every state. Savings based on early signing, discount drive rides, and mile wise. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, North Brook, Illinois.
Foot odor throwing you off your game? Stick to a winning game plan with Odor Eaters, featuring 3 advanced odor and wetness fighters. The lineup provides long-lasting odor control plus more to keep your feet on their game.
And if you didn't know, Odor Eaters powder provides outstanding moisture control. Clear drying spray is the MVP in preventing athlete's foot, while insoles work continuously to manage wetness while adding a layer of comfort. Pick up today at Walmart, Target, CVS, Dollar General, or other fine retailers.
Odor Eaters, destroy foot odor with the best in odor defense.
It's the summer clearance event at New Carlisle Chrysler. I'm Chris Toby. At New Carlisle, our primary focus is your safety and ours. We are practicing safe social distancing. Probably like you, we hate it, but we are wearing our masks and we are diligently cleaning the dealership. If you're more comfortable handling your sales and service needs from home, we can help you. Visit TobyAuto.com where you can complete all aspects of the vehicle purchase, including financing and trade appraisals, schedule service, or simply get a question answered. Most importantly, stay safe out there. We will get through this together.
Welcome to Pipestone Golf Club with a 4-star rating from Golf Digest and recognized as the best course to play. Pipestone is a favorite in the Miami Valley. The Arthur Hills design masterpiece is carved into the sweeping foothills and ancient oaks of southwestern Ohio. The course provides a quality challenge to golfers of all levels, and everyone is welcome. Be sure to call for a tee time, then bring your friends and play America's greatest game on a golf course that truly sets itself apart. Pipestone, a great golf experience.
They can bulge, go bald, wear down, flatten, or be in dire need of replacing.
No, guys, it's not you.
We're talking about your tires. Let Fat Boys get your car rolling again. Safe and sound. Fat Boys carries tires in all makes, styles, and sizes, including Continental, Goodyear, Michelin, and more. Check out Fat Boys' new location in North Dayton at the corner of Needmore and I-75 or 3050 Springboro Pike in South Dayton. Fat Boys, your ultimate resource for wheels, tire, service, and accessories. Look for Fat Boys at fatboysdayton.com.
It's time for some straight talk. You know where the full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best networks, same as big carriers, but for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G, for up to 50% less than the big carriers. No contract, full coverage, 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dealing with battery problems? We've got you. Let's start with a free battery test. If you just need a free charge, we can help with that too. And if it's time for a new battery, we've got you covered. We're the only place you can find Duralast, the batteries more consumers choose. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination, where help is always in stock. Claims based on a proprietary consumer study and data from the MPD Group 2019.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
School goes on.
Staples has everything to start the year right, no matter where school happens, and all at amazing prices. School on, save on at Staples.
The Reds are on the radio. Cincinnati Reds baseball is finally here. There are only 60 games this season, so don't miss a second of the action.
Winker hammers one to deep right field, and that is a no-doubter.
Catch every game right here on Dayton's home of the Reds, 1410 ESPN Radio. On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, back with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. So interesting. Kirk Cousins earlier today, I guess, was doing an interview. I don't know if it was a podcast or if it was just being quoted within an article, but I start seeing this morning huge reaction to comments and quotes from Kirk Cousins. And it's interesting because everyone is just literally beating him up for some comments he made about justification. You talked earlier about, if a player opts to play, great. If a player opts to sit out because of COVID, great too. Like, that's the thing. Like, you have that option to do so. That's why Big Ten fans were so upset at Kevin Warren, even though I thought it was laughable. I thought fans were being petty by saying, "Oh, your son has the choice to play, and you're taking the choice away from all the Big Ten." No. That's not the case. And it's funny, the people that were ripping Kevin Warren letting his son play when he took the chances away, when he took the choice away from the players within the Big Ten, those are the same people now that are saying, well, it wasn't Kevin Warren that took the choice away. It was the presidents voted. I haven't heard anyone talk about Kevin Warren's son playing ever since, we found out that 11 of the 14 presidents within the Big Ten all voted to postpone the season. So it wasn't Kevin Warren who took the choice away from the Big Ten kids to be able to play. It was the university presidents, technically, if we're going to get technical as far as that's concerned. But we always say that, hey, the players have a choice to play. That was my argument from the beginning, why I think there should be college football. All sports should be moving forward right now, because just like we can opt into going to work during a pandemic, these players should be able to opt in to playing during a pandemic. The regular student body on campuses, they opt in to attend classes during a pandemic, or those who aren't comfortable, they stay home and work for a year and save money, and then they start their next school year a year later. We all have choices. Well, Cousins apparently was a little aggressive with some of his choices regarding the upcoming season. We're live on Facebook. Search the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook and take a look. This is a quote from, of course, Kirk Cousins on the coronavirus. Again, he was asked about, his thoughts and what went into his decision to play during this pandemic. He goes, "I want to respect what other people's concerns are. If I get it, I'm going to ride it out," talking about the coronavirus. Kirk Cousins goes on to say that survival of the fittest kind of approach. People are mad at him for this. And I'm like, he's not saying anything wrong. I have yet to read anything he has said that is wrong. Here's where it's a little aggressive, and I get why this caught people's attention. Again, I want to respect what other people's concerns are. If I get it, I'm going to ride it out. Survival of the fittest kind of approach. Even if I die, I die. I kind of have peace about that.
Very Rocky IV.
If I die, I die.
If he dies, he dies. Very Iron Drago.
Look, I haven't seen that movie, so I'm assuming that's pretty good. I'm not a movie guy. I told you that.
Oh my goodness! Kenner has not seen. You've never seen any of the Rocky movies?
Let me guess. Is it like a conversation from a few weeks ago? The movie starts out, he's a great boxer, then he faces trials and tribulations, and then he overcomes those and wins the belt at the end.
Not the original.
So he lost at the beginning.
Yes.
Oh, he lost at the end of the movie too?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that sounds like something I would like. I don't like watching movies where it's the same thing every time, where good guy faces trouble. You don't think he's going to overcome it. He always overcomes it. To me, I just figured that's what all the Rocky movies were about.
No, not the original. Nah, they don't even use that music until the second Rocky movie.
Oh.
Yeah, man, the original Rocky's great.
When my theory comes into play, right?
Yeah. The first Rocky movie is great. Part 2 is okay. Part 3 has Mr. T in it. That's when it goes
Penny the Fool.
Yeah, that's when it goes to straight like the Rocky stuff that you wouldn't like. Like that's what is like over the top.
But that set up WrestleMania.
Yeah,
that set up.
Hulk Hogan is in Rocky 3 as well.
When I was little,
playing Thunder Lips.
Is that the Thunderlips? What?
That's the character he went by. He was a wrestler named Thunderlips in Rocky 3.
Hulk Hogan was Thunderlips?
Yes.
Good for him. Yeah,
Yes.
Kyle McGuire says you haven't seen Rocky. What? I figured I was going to get that. I haven't seen Hoosiers either.
Oh, my goodness.
Hoosiers looks horrible.
Hoosiers is great. Gene Hackman, baby.
That looks, Schrody says, I'm with Kenner. Never seen a Rocky movie. Shaw says, no, Rocky doesn't win at the end of Rocky. They tie. Oh, they tie. Thanks for the spoiler, David.
Well, it's only 45 years old.
Schrody said movies are overrated. Exactly.
What? And then what happens in Rocky 4? Rocky 4, the former champion Apollo Creed dies in the ring. The Russian kills him in the ring. He kills him with his bare hands.
The immortal words of Kirk Cousins, if I die, I die.
Yeah.
Survival of the
then
fittest.
Rocky goes to the Soviet Union. This is in the middle of the Cold War. I don't even know if you probably were just born when everything was happening.
89 right there.
Yep. So the Cold War is going on. So he goes to the Soviet Union, beats the Russian on his home territory. Then in Rocky 5, he comes back home to the United States and he's flat broke because he didn't pay his taxes. Very relatable to a lot of rich people out there. So he has to go back to the slums of Philadelphia. But yes, he fights again. Fights Tommy Morrison. You remember Tommy Morrison? A real boxer? He fought him in there. You're not intrigued. Then in Rocky 6, there's a Rocky 6. Yes, there's a Rocky 6 where he fights Antonio Tarver, who's a real boxer. He loses to him too. Rocky loses a lot. And then
throw the damn towel. That's what Shaw is saying right now. Throw the damn towel.
Oh yes. That's when the Rocky. That's when the Rocky beats him.
This is generating a reaction. People are really serious about Rocky.
Then you get the Creed series. Apollo Creed had a son who Michael B. Jordan plays. He fights for the title. That's relatively new. I won't spoil it. But then they have a Creed 2 where he also fights. I won't spoil it because it's relatively new. You need this weekend.
Oh no, it ain't gonna happen. People,
whether it's tonight, it's Labor Day, man. Labor Day weekend.
But see,
watch Rocky.
This is why I don't watch movies. Like Nora gets mad all the time because I don't watch movies.
All 8 of them.
I always say I don't like watching a movie because I have to commit 2 to 3 hours to watching a movie.
Oh gosh.
But then she gets mad. She goes, "You won't watch a movie because you don't want to commit to 2 to 3 hours of a movie." She goes, "But you'll watch 10 straight episodes of Breaking Bad." I'm like, "Yes, because I could stop at the end of that 40 minutes or 50 minutes or whatever. I could stop and go do whatever I need to. I just basically reevaluate my life at the end of each show. That's all. A movie, 3-hour chunk, not for me." Not for me. I haven't watched Star Wars. Not a Star Wars guy. And you get all weird around Star Wars. Like I have a feeling like when that other one comes out, so you're not going to come on the air because you're going to worry someone's going to ruin it for you.
Absolutely. I don't play that spoiler stuff. Matter of fact, Mandalorian season 2 is coming to Disney Plus very soon. Can't wait for that. Man, you got to get on these. Look, hey, man.
I'm good.
And look, man, we in the middle of a pandemic. You should be watching as many old movies as you can because say they cancel college football completely and we only have the NFL, there's only going to be one day of the week that you're going to be able to watch football.
Look at all these guys trying to stump me here. Shaw says, but you go play golf for 2 or 4 hours. Nick, he also says, how many hours do you play golf? Well, if we're going to compare it to a movie, if you see my golf game, it's like a horror movie as far as that. I mean, it's scary as hell, to be honest with you. But again, I really enjoy, at least golf, you're up moving around. Look at me. I'm all about being athletic and doing some athletic things, not sitting on a couch watching. No, that's not true at all. I love comedies. I can watch. I love comedies. I'm all about the comedies. I am not big on, I don't know. The Rocky thing never really got me.
I distracted you, Kirk Cousins.
Oh yeah, back to that. If he dies, he dies. If he dies, he dies. By the way, Sladen says Hoosiers is a classic. I'll watch Coach Carter over Hoosiers any day. I'll watch Glory Road over Hoosiers any day. I'll watch Space Jam over Hoosiers. Space Jam. That's if we're talking about basketball, nothing tops Space Jam kicks Hoosiers' ass. Period.
You never seen Above the Rim?
What's Above the Rim?
Oh, goodness. It's another basketball movie. Great basketball movie.
No, I haven't seen that one. But by the way, the best, hands down, the best basketball movie of all time. It embarrasses Hoosiers. Semi-Pro.
Oh, gosh.
What? It is the best freaking movie. So many one-liners. I'm telling you, when I played basketball, that's all we did was just, we never had conversations. We just spit one-liners from either The Hangover or from Semi-Pro. In fact, I don't even think I had any conversations with some of my old teammates. We just spit one-liners from movies the entire time. That's it. But Semi-Pro was great. The best.
So Above the Rim has our buddy in it.
Who's our
Marlon
buddy?
Wayans. He is in it. Also, Tupac Shakur is in it. Yeah, man. Above the Rim, man.
Will he be in the next one too?
Oh, this guy.
This guy. You never know. And Schrody comes in clutch. He says, again, former teammate of mine, picking up where we left off. Corn dogs, Jackie. Corn dogs. We don't even have corn dogs.
Jackie Moon.
Yeah, and see, back to back, Dylan coming through. Corn dogs, Jackie. See, corn dogs, that's the key quote in that movie. And then Shaw comes in and ruins it. Semi-pro is garbage. No, it's not. You're garbage. How about that? I'm joking. Can't call names. People get offended. Ugh. You're not garbage. But corn dogs, Jackie, that's how you do it right there. So let's go back to this real quick. Let's set this back up. Where the hell did it go? It's like a Friday show. So Kirk Cousins just infuriates people because he says, you know what? Survival of the fittest kind of approach. Even if I die, I die. Kirk Cousins says, I kind of have peace about that. And I have no clue why people are ripping him. I agree with him 100%. Look, he said it very aggressively. If I die, I die. But like basically anyone who chooses to play during this stretch, you're not really saying if I die, I die, but you're basically saying, hey, I acknowledge the risks and I'm willing to play during a pandemic. What did he say that's wrong? I have no problem with what he said. I don't think he said one little tiny eensy-weensy thing wrong. That quote, if you expand it, he goes on to say, I wear a mask every day. Those who are concerned, I respect them. I give them their space. I make sure I'm using hand signs. Like he went into detail about just because I am not afraid to play during a pandemic, it doesn't mean that I am judging those who are concerned about it. So I think he said everything right. I have no problem with what Kirk Cousins said, as of course Kev is lathering up here with the sanitizer. Look, we got the little the plexiglass thing in here. You know. And by the way, it's probably a good thing. I didn't realize how much I spit when I talk. Like you can, anyways. But the quote one more time again: if I die, I die. I am kind of at peace about that. You're not going to die. You're not going to die. You might get sick. Stop. Like. That's what people are mad at because he goes, if I die, I die. That's what people are upset about. They said that he's being selfish about. How is he being selfish? He's not being selfish.
To be fair to Kirk Cousins, I don't want to rush to judgment. I would like to see the clip as opposed to read the clip because everything isn't about what you say, it's how you say it. You know?
You're acting like no, never mind.
Acting like an adult?
It's 2020. You never know.
It is. Like if your mom tells you to clean your room. And it's a difference between her saying, hey, clean your room. Hey, go clean your room. It's two differences. It's a difference. It's all how you say it. If he says it and he's like halfway chuckling through it, then, it is what it is. But I can see people that could be offended by that from people that have had family members pass away from COVID-19, saying he's not taking it serious. But like you said, that's the headline. If I die, I die. But also in the statement, he's talking about washing his hands, hand sanitizer, respecting people that take this very serious and wearing a mask. And honestly, that's what you want. To be perfectly honest, even people that don't think COVID is real still having respect enough for other people to abide by the rules. Mm-hmm. And you can still have your own beliefs. So he believes one thing, which is, hey, that's on him. But he's doing a great thing by continuing to wear a mask and hand sanitize and be clean. So at the end of the day, that's all you really can ask for.
But again, even if he didn't elaborate and say, I respect those who do take who are concerned about it. This quote, even I'm trying really hard. I love spinning stuff out of context. I find I get a lot of enjoyment in that. I'm trying my hardest to spin this to fit a narrative for me to complain about, and I can't. I want to respect what other people's concerns are. If I get it, I'm going to ride it out. Survival of the fittest kind of approach. Even if I die, I die. I kind of have peace about that. He's talking about him. I don't know if anyone was offended by this. You're trying. We live in a day and age where we're just looking for things to be bothered by. There are things you should be bothered by, and then there's this quote that really has no business even making people bat an eye. It amazes me as far as I'm concerned. Kirk Cousins, there's a lot of things I don't like about Kirk Cousins. This quote, not one of them. He's a bum quarterback, but outside of that,
that boy paid.
No, yeah, he's still a bum. His agent is far from being a bum.
Oh, absolutely. His agent is the man.
All right. And by the way, Shaw says that I did not offend him, that it's going to take way more than that. Challenge accepted. How about that? All right. More of the Justin Kidder Show when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
In these times, it's important to look after yourself. At Kettering Health Network, we offer telehealth video visits so you can see Kettering Physician Network providers from the comfort of your home using your computer, tablet, or phone. With Kettering Telehealth, you can keep up with your wellness visits, see a specialist, and everything in between. Start by visiting ketteringhealth.org/telehealth. Kettering Health Network.
It's time for some straight talk. You know where the full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best networks, same as big carriers, but for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G, for up to 50% less than the big carriers. No contract, full coverage, 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up,
good night,
there's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell and engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
Hey race fans, Marty Smith here. Is there a hometown original hero in your hometown who's gone above and beyond in serving your local community during this year's pandemic? If so, Smithfield wants to help you honor them. Share their stories and feature their names on the Smithfield number 10 race car later this year at Martinsville. So whether your hero is a nurse, EMT, police officer, or grocery store worker, nominate them at SmithfieldHometownHeroes.com and upload a 1-minute video that tells their story. Contest ends September 13th, 2020. No purchase necessary.
Today, everyone is expecting you to maintain a new level of clean, from customers and employees to students and staff. Cintas has the essential products and services to help you carry out cleaning protocols effectively. We'll keep you well stocked with cleaning supplies, professionally laundered uniforms, and other essentials like face masks, hand sanitizer, and thermometers. Give everyone the confidence they need to keep coming back. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
It's the summer clearance event at Key Chrysler. I'm Chris Toby. At Key, our primary focus is your safety and ours. We are practicing safe social distancing. Probably like you, we hate it, but we are wearing our masks, and we are diligently cleaning the dealership. If you're more comfortable handling your sales and service needs from home, we can help you. Visit TobyAuto.com, where you can complete all the aspects of a vehicle purchase, including financing and trade appraisals, schedule service, or simply get a question answered. Most importantly, stay safe out there. We will get through this together.
Hey, it's Justin Kinner from the Justin Kinner Show, and I wanted to take some time to tell you about my great experiences with CertaPro Painters. That's right, my experiences, as in more than one. I've had CertaPro Painters complete quite a few painting projects for me over the years, and every time they knock it out of the park, whether it was the Ohio State-themed office with the Buckeye stripe wrapped around the room, or when they painted my entire house before move-in day, I could not believe that they knocked out our entire house in just one day. CertaPro Painters knows how to get the job done right, and most importantly, safely during these times. They deliver what they promise. They show up on time, they get the job done right and on budget. Whether it is residential or commercial, interior or exterior, CertaPro Painters will take care of you from the first initial free estimate all the way up to the final brush of paint on your project. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. They are a local business that you can support. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Montgomery County Veterans. The Montgomery County Veterans Services Commission is here to serve you. You served your country, and now it's time we served you. You're entitled to various VA benefits as a direct result of your service, to include compensation, pension, burial, and education. Call 937-225-4801 or online at mcvsc.org. The time is now. Come to the old St. Elizabeth Hospital next to the Kindred Hospital, and we'll be there to serve you. That number again is 937-225-4801. 855-4801.
Have you played Turtle Creek Golf Course yet? Formerly Greenville Country Club, Turtle Creek has local, state, and national recognition for excellence. They also have some world-class facilities, like the famous Thirsty Turtle Lounge, a full-service restaurant and bar with seating for up to 200 guests. Come try the Turtle's famous chicken wings, or Fish Fridays, Steak Saturdays, or Sunday brunch. Learn more at www.turtlecreekon36.com. Turtle Creek Golf Course and the Thirsty Turtle Lounge. Great food, great golf, and a great experience.
Indeed knows a lot of small businesses took a hit recently and are busy trying to figure out plans for the future. So if you're hiring, it means finding the right people is more critical than ever before. Indeed will help you find the quality candidates you need while only paying for what you need. Claim your $75 credit to get more quality candidates fast when you post your first job at Indeed.com/high-impact. That's Indeed.com/high-impact. Terms and conditions apply.
Paint? No, Paramount isn't just paint. It's the #1 paint in overall interior hide and stain resistance, providing the most advanced protection in just one coat. And now you can get that same outstanding protection with our new Paramount One Coat White. This first-of-its-kind one-coat ready mix white provides a beautiful white finish. You'll find Paramount paint exclusively at Menards. In third-party tests, interior paint claims versus super premium home center brands in eggshell sheen.
Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Savings or mail-in rebate. See store for details.
Ace is the only national retailer that carries Benjamin Moore paint, which means premium quality paint and Ace's award-winning service are now just around the block. If you want a new look no further than Ace.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. This ad is sponsored by Janelle and Associates Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas. Attention all former Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts. If you were sexually abused by an adult scout leader, even if the abuse happened decades ago, listen closely as you may be entitled to substantial compensation. The Boy Scouts of America have billions of dollars in assets and have agreed to set up a victim compensation fund for victims of child sexual abuse, even if the abuse happened decades ago. Our attorneys can file a claim for you and get you the justice and closure you deserve while you remain completely anonymous. If you suffered abuses from scout leaders and those who knew about the abuse but failed to stop it, call our law firm's confidential scout abuse hotline at 800-836-4209, as you may be entitled to substantial compensation. But hurry, as time is running out to file a claim. Call 800-836-4209 right now to see if you are eligible for substantial compensation. Call 800-836-4209. That's 800-836-4209. 800-836-4209.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Most people know that Mr. Clean Magic Eraser removes crayon and scuff marks from walls, but did you know it even cleans tough kitchen and bathroom messes that are sometimes tough to tackle? Just wet, squeeze, and erase gray soap scum on your bathtub. Erase cloudy hard water spots in your shower. Erase burnt-on stovetop messes. So for all your tough kitchen and bathroom messes, try Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Third floor study hall. My dining room table. Homeroom Monday and Tuesday. My living room Wednesday to Friday.
Wherever school happens for you this year, Staples has amazing prices on everything you need, from lap desks to computers, desk chairs to UV sanitizers. This week at Staples, a 2-pack of Elmer's glue sticks, a 24-pack of Crayola crayons, and comp books are just 50 cents each. Shop in-store, pick up curbside, or order online. School on, save on. Staples. Ends 9/5 while supplies last. Limit 30. Limits vary online. Curbside available in most stores.
Hot rods, muscle cars, classic cars, and imports. You've got to see Cars and Parts Giant Swap Meet event this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Springfield Clark County Fairgrounds. Thousands of vendors and cars for sale this weekend at Springfield Clark County Fairgrounds. Info at ohioswapmeet.com or call 937-376-0111.
You gotta see it. You gotta be there. Come on out and see. Cars and Parts Swap Meet and Car Show. Bring the family.
School goes on. Staples has everything to start the year right, no matter where school happens, and all at amazing prices. School on, save on at Staples.
The biggest local and national guests sit down for the biggest interviews with Justin Kinner on 1410 Wing Live, presented by Arrowhead Tax Service. Follow along live on ESPN Dayton's Facebook page and catch all previous episodes at wingam.com. Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com. WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show, live here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kinner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kinner.
So you keep forgetting it's a Thursday, huh? Or it's Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday.
But you said
I thought it was Thursday.
Oh, okay. See, now you got me all messed up.
Yeah.
You got me
Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. It's September 2nd, by the way. Good news. When the Big Ten schedule came out, we were all excited, and we should be tomorrow. Ohio State and Illinois will be squaring off. Ohio State at Illinois. Oh, wait, never mind. Sorry. I had the Big Ten schedule in front of me, and tomorrow Ohio State was supposed to be at Illinois, and I forgot that the season was postponed. Why haven't we talked about that? Why don't you remind me that the Big Ten had pulled the plug on the season?
Oh, Lord. How are you going to hold up with that?
I'll be fine. I mean, look, the reason I'll be fine is because there's at least NFL. I've been saying from the very beginning, if all football is canceled, I would not be fine. I would have a very hard time this fall because, I love football. I've just accepted that the Big Ten pulled the plug, and I won't let myself get my hopes up about potentially restarting the Big Ten season in the fall. I'm not getting my hopes up. That way, if it does happen, it's great. You know what I mean?
Bonus.
It's been, I'm not budgeting my interest in Ohio State football this fall, because that way, if they do end up having a season, it's an awesome experience. But if I sit here and be miserable like everyone else around here, complaining about no Buckeye football, you could be upset, but my goodness, to let it just take over your life. For one, I got the Browns. We still have the NFL. There's still going to be some college football. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's just one of those situations where if there was no football, and the Reds, which by the way, they've been a disgrace and disaster. But if there was if every sport, the plug was pulled on every sport because of COVID, that's a totally different story. I don't want to go back to the months of, May and June. That was brutal. That was brutal. And to do that in October and November, even more brutal. So, again, it stinks that there's no Buckeye football. There's still a small chance that there could be, but overall, you still got football. You're still going to have big-time college football matchups on the weekend. Yes, it won't be Ohio State. That stinks. Maybe that changes. But you still got NFL on Sundays. NFL's going to, obviously on Thursdays, Mondays. Don't be surprised if they try to take over some Saturday slots. I think that, just because the Big Ten isn't playing, there's really not going to be any openings for the NFL to take over on Saturdays as far as that's concerned. So who knows? Like I said, to answer your question, maybe it'll bother me more when we get closer. Like the fact that tomorrow we should be previewing a game tomorrow for Ohio State, that kind of bothers me thinking about it. But overall, I think it'll bother me more once I see the other teams kick off and Ohio State's not. That's when I'll get angry. I've just been telling myself all along, I'm not going to get mad until I actually see Alabama and Clemson kick off. When they kick off, then it'll be real that Ohio State's not playing.
See, you and I are on opposite coins.
Shocker.
As usual. You can watch any NFL game, right?
Yep.
I can only watch the Steelers.
Now the Browns have trained me because I usually have to turn it off by the end of the first quarter. So that's Browns fan 101 right there.
I can only watch the Steelers in a big time matchup. Like the rest of the games really just don't do it for me. But you're the same way I feel about college football. You only watch the Buckeyes in big time games, right? You don't watch Tuesday night action. You don't watch these random Pac-12 games that kick off at 10:30 at night.
I have to have an interest. If there's a local kid playing, I'll watch Arizona State because of Herm Edwards. But no, I can't. I mean, and it's not that I don't like college football. And by the way, that's not true. At the very beginning, college football's on, I'm watching. But a couple weeks into the season, it's like, okay, now I'm just watching the big matchups. And some weekends you're forced to just watch the worst of the worst because, some weeks are bad. Then there's other weeks where you're getting Auburn, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, LSU. You know what I'm saying? So, it just depends on the weekend.
That big noon kickoff.
They're still doing that, by the way.
Yes, sir. Going to be a lot of Big 12 matchups.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of Oklahomas, a lot of Texas. So more power to them.
So your team in college football this season is Clemson, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They're winning the national championship. And Buckeye fans may not like it, but you have to at least give me this. I've been saying that even before I knew that Ohio State wasn't going to be playing this season.
Direct all your hate.
And that is not me saying Ohio State was not good, but like when they took a national championship away from it. No,
opportunity.
They took an opportunity from you. They did not take it. No, but some people are literally going as far as saying that championship was ours.
No, it's an opportunity.
100,000,000% disagree that championship was yours. You were going to have a shot at it, but no, it wasn't. I mean, Ohio State has not, like, I don't know if it was the opposite and the SEC or the ACC pulled the plug. You could say, okay, they took a championship away from Clemson, most likely, or whatever. But Ohio State, I can't say that. Ohio State hasn't been able to prove they've struggled even making the playoffs since winning a national championship in 2014, and they finally get back to the playoffs after a couple-year drought last year, and they lost to Clemson, the team that's still in line to win a championship. And Ohio State's saying that their championship was taken from. Nothing was taken from you. The opportunity was taken from you. So there you go. But we shall see. David Shaw says roll Tide. So we know who his team is, the Michigan fan. He says roll Tide.
Want to get a victory, huh? Get some dubs. I feel you, man. Hey, this is an opportunity. Pick your team, man. Do what you got to do to put a smile on your face. Just don't pick wrong.
Speaking of a smile on people's faces, let's talk a little Bengals football. And no smile on my face. If it's a smile when we're talking Bengals, it's probably a smirk. So just so we're clear. But no, big news in the NFL yesterday. And I thought it was interesting too. You have the Cincinnati Bengals, and they're in a situation where they just drafted Joe Burrow #1 overall. And there's a lot of optimism about the direction of the franchise, although I've never seen optimism about a team that's projected to win 3 to 4 games. That's amazing to me. But anyways, that's besides the point. Joe Mixon, one of the best running backs in the National Football League. We knew that, I called this months ago. Maybe not. I didn't expect the Bengals to actually, fork over the change so quickly. But I was keeping an eye on like the Dalvin Cook and the Vikings situation. You're keeping an eye on a lot of the running backs who have been disgruntled in the National Football League as of late. And it's not because these are bad organizations that don't know how to treat their players. It's because running backs have to literally look out for themselves because they know that the market is brutal. The running back market, from a financial standpoint, more times than not, is brutal. The opportunities to make money as a running back are very slim. When you're a quarterback, average quarterbacks make money. Ryan Tannehill, Schrody, what's up, man? Ryan Tannehill made bank this offseason. You know what I mean? And he's not even top 12 quarterback in the National Football League. And there's top 10 running backs that are going to struggle to make more than $6 to $7 million a year, which isn't bad, but you also have running backs making $16 million a year. And you can argue that the gap between the #1 running back and the number 11 running back, it may be wide, or it may be, there may be a gap, but I don't think it's significant enough to distinguish what a $16 million a year running back is versus $6 million a year running back is. It's very obvious what a Patrick Mahomes quarterback financial investment looks like compared to a Ryan Tannehill. Let's just put it that way, at least in my opinion. But I knew that Joe Mixon was going to be in a position where he was going to start demanding more money, or demanding money for an extension, mainly because you look at the free agent class for next year. The market was, of course, going to be very competitive. And I think we're at the situation now where the Bengals took care of something that could have been a distraction down the road. You have 4 years to win with Joe Burrow. You have more than that, but you see, every team, when a team drafts a rookie quarterback so high in the draft, they shrink their immediate future down to the next 4 years. The Browns aren't making decisions for their organization for 6, 7, 8 years down the road. They're making decisions for the next 2 to 3 years down the road while they have Baker on a rookie contract. You could be very flexible financially when you have a quarterback on a rookie deal. You can maybe invest a little bit more into a wide receiver that you normally wouldn't do if you have an Aaron Rodgers on your team because of the financial investment that you have in an Aaron Rodgers-like talent. The Bengals have a rookie quarterback in Joe Burrow, who there's a ton of expectations on, but there's also talks of A.J. Green wanting an extension. He just can't stay on the field. He would have probably had his. I think A.J. Green would have had an extension. I think Joe Mixon needs to thank A.J. Green's softness, because if it wasn't for A.J. Green's softness, I don't think Joe Mixon gets the money. And I'm kind of in between. I like saying that the Bengals invested into Joe Mixon because to me that says that the Bengals have invested into the next 3 to 4 years. It's a 4-year extension, but you have 4 years with Joe Burrow on a rookie contract. So now you are able to afford maybe spending as much as they did, $12.5 million on Joe Mixon. I would not be a fan of spending that much money on a running back if you have your quarterback on a max contract, which they don't. So it works for the Bengals. My big thing is this: I don't know if they made the right move or not, because it's easy to say they made the right move because he's super talented and you're going to have that talented running back now as part of a core moving forward. But could you have taken that money, invested it elsewhere, considering that I think you could have honestly played a little bit of hardball with Joe Mixon and probably got him for significantly less, mainly because they could have looked at him and said, well, you want all this money. We're not going to pay you that much money. Keep in mind, there's going to be so many talented running backs out on the market next year that we don't have to pay you $12.5 million. We can go get a Mac or somebody else and pay him anywhere between $6 to $8 million and use that $5 million elsewhere to maybe go invest in an offensive line, depending on how the season goes, or maybe to get, improve the defense. I know they spent a lot of money this offseason, but clearly it wasn't enough. So that's my thinking on it. We're really not going to know until the end of the year whether this decision was right or not, as far as the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Mixon is concerned. I think I know where you're at with it. I mean, of course, it's a good deal in your eyes because you're all about the player getting their money. I'm not saying I'm against Joe Mixon getting his money. I'm just saying from a team standpoint, I don't know if it was a smart investment or not, because I think you could have got just a talented running back next offseason for significantly less, possibly $5 to $6 million cheaper than what you ended up getting Joe Mixon for the next 4 years.
But it's like you said, they're on the clock starting now, right? That Burrow's the quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're on the clock now. So surround your young quarterback with weapons. You already have Tyler Boyd. You got T. Higgins as a rookie. You got AJ, who's up for a contract next season and everything like that. And I mean, you might as well. You have to surround him with weapons. And I mean, look at the backup, Bernard. He can't stay healthy either. He's the backup running back. So like it ain't like, and this is happening right now. This isn't next season where you could say, all right, we're just gonna go. He could have potentially sat out, and then what are you gonna do? You have no running game without him. You have zero running game without him. But he is the running game, and because of the offensive line being so bad, he makes holes that aren't any holes.
Mm-hmm. And look, I'm totally acknowledging the talent of Joe Mixon. However, I mean, we all know the talent of Nick Chubb. And they go out and get a Kareem Hunt. And everyone's like, well, why do you need Kareem Hunt when you have Nick Chubb? Well, because the Browns knew you need a lot of, well, that too. But again, there's so many running backs that are going to be made available within a year. And you didn't have to get rid of Joe Mixon. I mean, it's not like you had to pay him now or you were going to lose him. And if he does sit out this year, you're making the Bengals decision easy as far as moving on from him, as far as that is concerned. But, it is Joe Mixon comes out and says he wants to be a Bengal for life.
That ain't
I mean, it could be. I mean, man. What is up with these guys who just love losing?
That's just like
when AJ Green said it. I was like, why?
The go-to line, guys, after they sign their contract, I want to be here for life. Look, man, Jerry Rice didn't play for the San Francisco 49ers forever. Joe Montana didn't play for the 49ers forever. Hey, man, it just don't work out like that. Brett Favre played for the Jets and the Vikings after playing for Green Bay. Tom Brady is playing for Tampa Bay. Like it just don't work out like that. Most of the time it don't work out like that. You want to talk about an outlier, Kobe Bryant playing for one organization his entire career. Those are outliers.
He tried to get out.
He tried to bounce.
He tried to get, the getting was good. And he couldn't get out of there towards the end. But 457-9464, I'm curious, folks, Bengals fans, I want to hear from you. Again, look, the Bengals, it's not that big. I mean, look, you have Joe Mixon. He's a super talented running back. Like you're going to be, they'll be fine from that aspect. But I don't want to hear excuses when they're weak at other positions because it's difficult to find elite, cornerbacks. It's difficult to find really good linebackers. It's really difficult, to find good offensive linemen. That's where the team's money needs to be focused on right now. And I say that. And people are right away, well, you need a running back too. Exactly. My point is you can get running backs and you can get them for significantly cheaper. Like that's all my point is at the end, he's going to be worth he's going to be worth it. Technically, he's going to live up to the value of the contract. But when you have financial needs in other aspects of the game, I don't want to hear that, we just don't have the money to go after that cornerback or that linebacker. Well, maybe if you would have signed just as good a running back for $6 to $7 million elsewhere, as opposed to putting $12.5 million a year into him, you wouldn't be in that situation. But 457-9464. We can also, we're also going to head to the Facebook chat reaction right here. Justin says, agreed, no drama. The contract done, less distractions moving forward. And again, that's one thing I brought up at the beginning. And when I'm looking at the pros and cons of this, one of the pros and positives of this is now that's one less distraction you have to worry about. You have a 4-year window to try to, spend as much money and bring in as much talent and win as many games while your quarterback is on the cheaper side of things. So I think that eliminates a distraction. I mean, you look at the Saints right now with the stuff they're dealing with Alvin Kamara, which, by the way, they went from yesterday looking to ship him out to now, they're close to finalizing a deal. It's not going to be, McCaffrey money, but he is going to get paid. And again, he was trying to take advantage of his leverage in that situation because we're a couple weeks out. And I think that's the thing too. The running backs are talking a big, hey, I'm going to sit out and not show up. But Kamara knows that, hey, you sit out this upcoming season, as good as you've been, that's fine. But there's a lot of other running backs who are going to play this year and improve their stock this year. Right now, you're ahead of all those guys. Come back, play, earn your change for the next season, or risk sitting out, guys surpassing you, and then you just become one of another face in the crowd of guys looking to get paid. So, the running backs aren't bad or wrong for trying to get their money. All I'm saying is the teams are not wrong for not wanting to pay the running backs. There's so many running backs. I mean, it's a supply and demand type of conversation here. It's really not that hard to figure out. When there are so many good running backs out there, you're not going to get paid what you're worth. When there's not that many good cornerbacks, when there's not that many great offensive linemen, that's why they're overpaid, because there's not a whole lot of great offensive linemen out there, or cornerbacks or linebackers or what have you. I mean, you look at the elite pass rushers right now who are just racking in the dough. Because it's difficult. I mean, look at the teams that have those elite pass rushers. They're the ones making noise right now. That's why the Chiefs invested into theirs. The Browns invested into Myles Garrett. For 4 months, he was the highest paid pass rusher in the league until the Chiefs stepped in. So that's why those guys are getting paid. Are they better at their position than what these running backs are at theirs? I think they're just as good, just as dominant. But because it's so easy to go out and replace a running back, that's why I believe it's dumb to spend that much money on that position when the money should be going towards positions that it's a little bit more difficult to try to fill those voids with. Shaw says Bengals win 6, mark it down. Do you agree?
6. I'm with that. That's right in their wheelhouse. 6-7 games.
So, and that offensive line is going to play a huge role in that. Trey Green says, Houday. Justin says, again on Facebook, when you comment in the chat section, we pull your comment into the show. Justin says that the Browns have had optimism since they came back. Okay. That's fine. Man, I hate a fan base who has confidence in their team. I tell you what, I mean, the Bengals fans disappear for years at a time, and then when they get Joe Burrow, they all come out from under the rock. I mean, that's why Browns fans, they're always there. 0-16, they're just as loud at 0-16 as they are when they win 6 games like last year.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's continue going down this road. Doug Morgan says, I read that Mixon has 500 straight carries with no fumbles. That's an important stat if true. Jeremy Hill agrees. Let's see what else we got here. Just win. Ron Moreland says, is it any Browns news? Justin the Dreamer. Wow, the day of the Browns win 12 games is when you get a golf game. See, Ron is one of the more sensitive Facebook folk we have on here. Why is that people's go-to with me? If I bring up the Bengals, they have to bring up the Browns right away. Our job as sports talk hosts is to touch on every single team. We talk Browns. Browns fans don't say, oh, yeah, well, what about the Bengals? No, the Browns fans are worried about their team. Bengals fans just need to be worried about your team. I'm bringing up your team. I'm pointing out deficiencies. And if you think the deficiencies I'm pointing out aren't there, then you're delusional. What have I said about the Bengals that's not true? When I said they're not good, are you arguing that they are good? Like, what did I say that's wrong? When I said that their quarterback wasn't really good the last how many years, are you arguing that he was good? What are you arguing? What are you getting so upset about, Ron? I don't get it. Well, I mean, in the Browns, 0-16, that's embarrassingly bad. They turned it around. They won 7 games the next season. They won 6 the year after that. They totally disappointed everybody. They underachieved greatly. I acknowledge that on a daily basis. What do you want me to say? So if you follow one bad team, you're not allowed to talk about another bad team. Is that basically the rule? Is that how it goes? Okay. Well, good news. The Browns aren't going to be bad this year, so that puts me in a position to talk bad about your team.
12-4.
Justin says, Draft Day, Mr. Kenner, one of the best movies. So we're back to the movie conversation.
Oh, no, that movie was terrible, even though my guy Chadwick Boseman was in it.
Draft Day. Is that what Kevin Costner?
Yeah.
See, Kevin Costner, man, he's the GOAT. I'm a big Kevin Costner fan now.
Oh, Yellowstone.
Especially, Yellowstone, man. I'd say the best show in the history of the world outside of Breaking Bad, Yellowstone. Yellowstone.
You haven't seen The Wire yet.
All right, Bengals fans, go dry your eyes. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. Stop making fun of my team.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Slight chance of showers this afternoon with a high of 83 degrees. Tonight, slight chance of thunderstorms and showers down to a low of 68. And tomorrow, chance of showers with a high of 85. I'm Leanna Ray for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Welcome to another Fantastic Four golf hole experience with the Buy Golf for Half Bogey Boys.
We're at Windy Knoll Golf Club today in Springfield, Ohio. This is my first time here, and I'm in love already. This totally unique course is Central Ohio's premier link-style golf course, and it's open to the public. I'm standing on the tee at the 6th hole. This par 4 is a dogleg left with some teeth. Water hugs the left side of the fairway all the way to the hole. I push my drive to the right, no surprise there. I get a decent lie in the rough and punch out and up the fairway. My third shot lands to the left front of the green, missing the large bunker on the right. I chip on and stop about 7 feet from the hole. I get lucky on a right to left breaking putt, and I'm in the hole for a bogey 5. I'll take it. You're in for a great test of your game when you play this link-style course. Get your pals together, book a tee time, and come out and play Windy Knoll. Stay tuned for more Fantastic Four golf hole experiences. See you at the next hole.
Visit buygolfforhalf.com for half-price golf packages from Windy Knoll and other great local golf courses around the Miami Valley.
Napa know-how.
At Napa, you can get a 5-quart jug of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for $26.99. An incredible oil for an unbeatable price from the best car people around. Making this deal the best of the best of the best of the best of the best deals around. That's Mobil 1, only $26.99. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General states pricing. Sales prices not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer ends 9/30/20.
Wendy's famous 4 for $4 is heating up with a new spicy crispy chicken sandwich. The queen of spice is delivering that spicy chicken you love with lettuce and mayo between 2 deliciously soft buns. And yes, in classic 4 for $4 fashion, you can get all that spicy goodness with spicy or crispy nuggets, fries, and a drink to cool off, all for just $4. Is it getting hot in here? Or did Wendy's just deliver the hottest deal in fast food? We got you.
Offer includes 4-piece nuggets, junior fry, and value drink. Price and participation may vary.
Finding the next job is a big job, and that part of what you do is a little tough right now. Because of that, Lowe's for Pros is here to help. Get $400 in leads on us with a free 1-year subscription from HomeAdvisor to connect to jobs that make sense for you. Sign up at lowesforpros.com/pro-loyalty to get started. Just one more reason why Lowe's is the new home for pros. Now let's get to work. Subscription and $400 lead credit subject to HomeAdvisor's approval and terms. Valid for new HomeAdvisor customers only. Lowe's loyalty required. More terms apply. Valid through 9/9 U.S. only.
We save big money with our Progressive Home and Auto Bundle and use the cash to take a family vacation.
To Hawaii.
Who's up for a luau?
Yay!
This is not a real testimonial. Sure, customers can save big money with Progressive, but not enough to go to Hawaii. They'll probably use it for things like the mortgage and groceries, or even a travel magazine, so at least they can see pictures of Hawaii.
Aloha!
Yes, say hello to those beautiful Hawaiian beaches in that magazine. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You have empty office space to fill. You know what you need, and you know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places that what you need and what you'd like, that might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week there's something new. If you need office furniture, Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half price and below manufacturer suggested prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really. Desks from $50 to $5,000. File cabinets, $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Outlet. With 87,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. 2 locations. One at 23 McOil Street, Dayton. The other, Uniques Unlimited on South Dixie. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6. Saturday, 10 to 4.
They can bulge, go bald, wear down, flatten, or be in dire need of replacing.
No, guys, it's not you.
We're talking about your tires. Let Fat Boys get your car rolling again. Safe and sound. Fat Boys carries tires in all makes, styles, and sizes,
including Continental, Goodyear, Michelin, and more.
Check out Fat Boys' new location in North Dayton
at the corner of Meadmore and I-75
or 3050 Springboro Pike in South Dayton.
Fat Boys, your ultimate resource for wheels, tires, service, and accessories.
Look for Fat Boys at fatboysdayton.com.
Welcome to Pipestone Golf Club with a 4-star rating from Golf Digest and recognized as the best course to play. Pipestone is a favorite in the Miami Valley. The Arthur Hills design masterpiece is carved into the sweeping foothills and ancient oaks of southwestern Ohio. The course provides a quality challenge to golfers of all levels, and everyone is welcome. Be sure to call for a tee time, then bring your friends and play America's greatest game on a golf course that truly sets itself apart. Pipestone, a great golf experience.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your car insurance with Right Track, which rewards you for safe driving.
As the world's most careful driver, that's perfect. Now applying 2 pounds of force for acceleration.
You really
turning in 0.3 miles and begin deceleration.
With Liberty Mutual's Right Track, you could earn up to 30% savings based on how you drive. Sign up at libertymutual.com/righttrack.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Discount on participating vehicles. Base coverages only. Availability varies.
Always get your go-to with the new $10 Tastemaker from Pizza Hut. A large pizza with up to 3 toppings for just $10. Choose contactless delivery or curbside pickup at pizzahut.com. Price higher in some locations. Limited time offer. Availability of contactless curbside and delivery areas. Charges and minimums vary. Delivery charge not tip.
Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green, the iconic cleaning formula known around the globe. Try a Simple Green product today, and if you're not 100% satisfied, I'll refund your money. Visit us at simplegreen.com.
Did you know that right now Geico is offering an extra 15% credit on car, motorcycle, and RV policies? That's on top of what Geico could already save you. Visit geico.com to learn more.
Reds fans, don't miss the Justin Kinner Show, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. You'll get the latest Reds news, headlines, lineups, player features, and recaps. Don't miss a game or a show on Dayton's home of the Reds, ESPN 1410, Wing AM. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, and we are back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Austin Ward with Letterman Row had an interesting little string of tweets here that I want to react to. So the Buckeyes practiced today, and they technically you're allowed to big game. You're allowed to practice. I think what I heard, like 12 hours. I think you could practice 12 hours a week, which when football coaches react to that, that's nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's really nothing as far as that is concerned. I mean, why wouldn't it be 15, by the way? You could at least get 3 hours a day in. Like, why 12? Like, that's strange. Like, so you have to do like one day longer than the others. It's just a strange amount. But regardless, they practiced today. So if they're practicing, I know there may not technically be a season coming up, but let me ask you this, because I want to go back to the conversation we had earlier about Jamie Newman, the Georgia quarterback, who is opting to forego this upcoming season. Keep in mind, the SEC season kicks off here in a few weeks, and Jamie Newman is opting to sit out of this coming up season. That was just announced earlier today. There's a lot of rumors out there about Justin Fields potentially looking to transfer back. Again, I shouldn't say looking to. We don't know if he's looking to. There are a lot of rumors that he could, that it would make sense to, regardless of the reasonings behind it or not. I mean, you could see the path. You could see where the conspiracy theory is being, built. There's a lot of base to it. Like, I don't think it's that far-fetched. So Jamie Newman was trending on Twitter. He is opting out of playing this coming up season. And sure enough, Justin Fields' name starts trending. Right. And people are getting angry at one another. I'm literally watching people just scream at one another on Twitter. It's absolutely hilarious. I love social media. It's so fun. And it's even funner when I'm not the one being yelled at for once. So there is that. But what fascinates me is that, okay, the Buckeyes practice today. Just because the season is postponed, it doesn't mean that these guys still aren't they aren't their current team's player member. Like, Justin Fields is a Buckeye. Right. Let me ask you that, like, if Trevor Lawrence, like if the roles were reversed, okay, let's say Ohio State had a scrimmage this past weekend. Let's say that the Big Ten was playing this year and that the ACC wasn't. And all of a sudden, Trevor Lawrence is on the sideline at Ohio State watching his scrimmage, even though Clemson could still practice. Trevor Lawrence is still a Clemson Tiger. He hasn't transferred to Ohio State. It would be a very bad look for Clemson for Trevor Lawrence to be on the sideline at someone else's school. Not just someone else's school. It's not like it's a MAC school or something that, there's no chance of Justin Fields transferring there. Let's even say the American Conference team. Like, let's say Justin Fields was on the sideline at Cincinnati. No one's sitting there wondering what's going on, but there are so many, I don't believe in coincidences. I think that there, trust me, where there's smoke, there's fire. Justin Fields was on the sideline this past weekend at a Georgia practice. Mm-hmm. Why is that not a bigger story? And what I mean by that is not big story as in, oh my God, he's going to transfer there. That has to be some kind of violation in some kind of way, right? Whether it's on Justin Fields' part or on Kirby Smart's part. Even if Justin Fields wanted to be on the sideline, even if he has a relationship with Kirby Smart from the past, the NCAA is so just nitpicky on all of their rules. My thing is, how is he even allowed on the sideline? I know everything is up in the air right now, but if players are still practicing and there's still going to be a season, whether it starts on October 10th or January 4th or whatever, you're still a Buckeye. Unless you're Tate Martell. Once a Buckeye, always a Buckeye, unless you're Tate Martell. But you're still a Buckeye. You know what I mean? You're still under scholarship for Ohio State. You have not announced that you've opted out. It's not like Justin Fields said, hey, I'm actually sitting out this. Even if we kick off on October 10th or we kick off on October 4th, I'm opting out. I'm not going to play this coming up season. I want to concentrate on the draft. Okay, great. He does that, and then he's on the sideline at Georgia. I don't even bat an eye at that. I have no problem with it. It is what it is. But you're still a Buckeye. You haven't opted out. You just did this whole hashtag we want to play, campaign, this, getting all these signatures. That's awesome. That's super. But you are a Buckeye right now. Until you've announced that you are opting out or that you are focusing on the draft, you are a Buckeye. His ass had no business being at that Georgia practice this past weekend. And I know Buckeye fans like to overlook a lot of stuff because you're not allowed to bash your own team, but this is not good. You and I were talking during the break, I love that, when there was that rumor, that the story that broke about the Big Ten conference call where Jim Harbaugh called out Ryan Day, and Ryan Day got kind of chippy and went back at him and said, they better hope that there's a mercy rule because we're going to drop 100 on their asses. I love that Ryan Day. If I'm Ryan Day, I'm pissed. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little mad at Justin Fields saying, what are you doing? Come on, that's not smart. I know you're from there. Your family's there. Your former teammates and friends are there. But what are you doing? You can't be doing that. Players aren't allowed on our sidelines from other schools. You shouldn't be going over there. But I'd be really pissed at Kirby Smart. What are you doing? This is weird. I can't believe more people weren't focusing on that, to be honest with you.
Let's be clear. This isn't when Baker Mayfield got arrested in Arkansas back when he was in college. This isn't a kid going to a party, hanging out with his buddies or whatever like that. Baker was hanging out with friends in Arkansas and then got arrested. But that's not the point. The point is he was at a party with some friends. Justin Fields is at a football practice. It's not a good look. And you know me, I'm the guy on this show that defends the players at every turn. I can't defend them here. This is a bad look. You're 100% correct. If I'm Ryan Day, I am looking at Justin Fields and asking him the tough question of, are you with us or not? Are you going to be here or not? Are you looking to transfer or not? Because if you are with us, you don't need to be at their practice. You don't need to be stirring up rumors about where you're going to be playing next season. If you're not, that's fine. We're going to support you. If you want to transfer, that's fine. You have every right in the world to do that because you really want to play.
Yep.
But don't put us in a bad light. Don't put us in the bad position that he has to answer questions about, well, what's Fields going to do? Why is he down there hanging out with Kirby Smart? I mean, it's exactly what Coach Herm Edwards was saying. He has to worry about other teams poaching his players. And from all looks of it, it's something that Ohio State needs to be worried about. I mean, we already had the situation with LSU trying to poach Sean Wade.
Yep.
Apparently Georgia. Now their situation at quarterback is up in the air. So maybe they are. Maybe they did have a conversation. This is something that Coach Day needs to nip in the bud and figure out what's going on. And also, honestly, Justin Fields needs to figure out what he wants to do.
Yep.
Do you want to be here or do you want to be there? Do you want to go ahead and get ready for the NFL? Whatever it is, whatever the case is, you owe it to the university and your teammates and the coaching staff to let them know. You owe it to them.
Yeah, and I agree wholeheartedly on that because right now Ohio State fans and Ohio State looks like they look like the significant other where, the guy's hanging out with another girl and he's continuously telling, oh no, we're just friends. You think there's something between me and Georgia? Oh no, me and Georgia, we're just friends. She's just a friend, baby. Don't be mad. Me and Georgia, we're just friends. We just talk. That's all. I mean,
I knew her before I knew you.
We used to have a thing back in the day, but no, we're past that. We're just friends now. Like you're the one for me. That's what Justin Fields is doing right now, and the fans are the dumb ones that are falling for the no, we're just friends. I'm telling you, it doesn't guarantee that he's transferring there. But you're very, very dumb if you think that we're the Buckeyes. There's no way he'd want to leave. The guy just wants to play. And you may be the Buckeyes, but if you're the Buckeyes on the sideline kicking off in January, you're not the Buckeyes anymore. So that's basically what it comes down to. And I have no problem with Justin Fields transferring. I've been on that, from the very beginning, that, hey, it's not Justin Fields' fault that the Big Ten is totally just botching this entire thing. I have no problem with it. But I do have a problem with the lack of professionalism, even on his part. You don't go to the sideline of a scrimmage of another team when you are still under scholarship at another school.
Are there pictures?
No pictures, but no denials either. No, you know what I mean? Even Ohio State hasn't put even a statement out. And again, I don't think it's big enough for them to put a statement out, but I'm very surprised. I think it's a big deal from the standpoint of Ryan Day should be raising hell. Maybe there's stuff going on behind the scenes as far as that goes. But Austin Ward, just following his tweets back and forth, and he says that Kirby Smart, again, after the news of quarterback Jamie Newman is opting out of the 2020 season, Kirby Smart sure has done a masterful job of managing his depth chart at quarterback, taking a shot at Kirby Smart in Georgia. Let's be clear here. They didn't make a mistake. In fact, if you're going to make fun of Kirby Smart, you Buckeye fans need to keep it consistent. And you need to rip Urban Meyer then too, because how many?
you go.
I'm just saying.
Sorry, JT.
Who won the Heisman this past year? Who didn't he used to be a Buckeye? Yeah. So if you're going to sit there and say, and by the way, Urban didn't mismanage quarterbacks. However, he came close. You almost ended up with Tate Martell as the quarterback last year. And he got bailed. And by the way, what's very ironic, we're sitting here saying that Kirby Smart isn't managing quarterbacks well. Well, it didn't look like the Buckeyes managed quarterbacks well either, because if you didn't have Joe Burrow and all you had was Tate Martell left after Dwayne Haskins went to the NFL, you were left with Tate Martell. That doesn't look like you balanced quarterbacks very well. But Justin Fields came and saved the day for Ryan Day. Justin Fields might be the guy that goes and saves the day at Georgia. How about that? But by the way, Kirby Smart, I have no problem with him sticking with Jake Fromm over Justin Fields. And Buckeye fans, you should not open your mouth about that either, because your head coach did the same thing. But at least the quarterback that Georgia opted to keep over Justin Fields was a quarterback that at least led a team to a national championship appearance. JT Barrett led him to the playoffs, 31-0. Remember what happened when that happened that year? So, Urban Meyer chose to stick with JT Barrett over a potential Heisman winning quarterback in Dwayne Haskins to repeat 31-0? I mean, Kirby Smart at least kept the quarterback that led them to a national championship game. So that's why I'm not going to make fun of Georgia and Kirby Smart. That's in a tough spot. Urban Meyer, as much as I poke fun at the JT Barrett thing, he was in a no-win situation there. Mm-hmm. You risk shaking up the locker room when you take the job away from a veteran guy like JT Barrett, a leader of the locker room. You can't just rip the job away from him and hand it to somebody else. That's going to, you know what I mean? There's a lot more fallout from that could impact the team. I get that it's not that simple. And it wasn't simple for Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart has been recruiting at the same level of Ohio State. It's been Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson for the last 5 years. So let's cool it on the ripping Georgia thing part. I mean, come on. I'm sorry. I can't believe I'm defending Georgia. That's concerned. But it's just, I am all about pointing out hypocrisy. And Buckeye fans, I swear, if there was a badge for hypocrisy, you guys would wear it and wear it proud. I mean, it is so crazy to me that you're going to rip Kirby Smart for picking Fromm over Justin Fields when you pick JT Barrett over Dwayne Haskins and over, obviously, the now Bengals quarterback and Joe Burrow.
I'm a huge Justin Fields fan, but if Tate Martell is the quarterback last year, they're still playing in the college football playoff.
Big Ten that bad, huh?
I'm just saying, the Ohio State is just that good at every level. So would Gunnar Hoke have led them to a playoff appearance? We'll probably lost one game.
You think that Tate Martell's better at quarterback than Gunnar Hoke? I'm not saying Gunnar Hoke's better than Tate Martell, but I don't. Tate Martell had a chance to go to Miami and dominate, and he couldn't even. He wasn't even the backup. He was the third string quarterback at Miami.
What game?
And he was good enough to lead the Buckeyes to the playoff, in your opinion?
Absolutely.
How does that make any sense? He wasn't even.
What game was close? There was no close games.
That was because of Justin Fields.
No, that was because Ohio State.
Because of Justin Fields.
That's because Ohio State is that good at every position.
Thank you, Justin Fields.
They have two guys that are going to go in the first round on the offensive line. They had JK. They had a ton of talent on defense. If Tate Martell was a quarterback, they still go to the college football playoff. And what game did, all right, man, Justin Fields won us that game.
If they have Tate Martell, they're Wisconsin with Jonathan Taylor, basically. What?
I believe in Coach Day enough that he would have schemed things around Tate Martell that we still would have went to the college football.
But Tate Martell was an Urban Meyer. Again, I'm not doing that. It was an Urban Meyer recruit. Tate Martell, when he was recruited, fit Urban Meyer's, RPO
Maybe they would have ran the ball a little bit more.
You don't. If you're Ryan Day, you don't run the. Oh no.
You don't. You're totally neglecting the talent that is around.
Hey, remember earlier when you asked, do I only watch Ohio State? I watched Miami a lot last year just for that hysterical little fallout there. Been on swing and miss the second time or third time, and then he wasn't even the third string quarterback.
The coaching staff at Miami is nowhere near the coaching staff at Ohio State. The talent at Miami is nowhere near the talent at Ohio State. You plug in Tate Martell at Ohio State last year, we still go to the college football playoff. There's not one single game that they won strictly because of Justin Fields. It's not.
Every game was done by halftime.
Exactly, because of
Justin Fields.
Because of the team.
Because of Justin Fields. There's no way. Look, they probably could go undefeated in the Big Ten without Justin Fields, but
and hence making it to the college football playoff.
They don't beat Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game. There's no way they beat Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game when they got down early like that. Like that the only reason they won that was the one game that Justin Fields won them that game. Michigan.
I would say the offensive line won them that game, but okay. The offensive line dominated. The defense turned it on in the second half.
Yeah, all those weapons are there. But again, there's a lot of good weapons when JT Barrett was there, and JT Barrett couldn't win a national championship with them. So it's not just plug and play.
They got there.
Who got there?
They got to the national championship.
Not because
JT was the quarterback.
No. They got there because of Cardale Jones. Because why? Because he opened up the
31-0 to Clemson. They got to the college football playoff.
No, you said national championship game.
No, I said college football playoff.
You said championship.
College football playoff, not national championship. They would have been the exact same. Okay, I should have positioned it better. They would have been the exact same position as they were with Justin Fields there. They would have been playing in the college football playoff.
All right, 457. I'm curious. 457-9464. We're live on Facebook. We have about 5 minutes remaining. Kev and I, we get super competitive. We both have to be right. And Kev usually gets the popular vote more times than I do. So that's fine. But I'm curious. Head to Facebook. Search The Justin Kinner Show. Tune in. We're going to commercial break. But comment in the comment section, and we're going to do a little poll here. I'm going to pull how many answers agree with me
you word it
versus
right.
how many agree with
word
Kevin.
it right.
If Tate Martell is the Buckeyes quarterback last year, are they in the college football playoff? Was Ohio State good enough to get to the playoff with Tate Martell, who was the third string quarterback for a couple of games at Miami? That's not slanting. That's using facts. That's not slanting. That's true. So head to Facebook, The Justin Kinner Show. Do the Buckeyes make the college football playoff last year with Tate Martell at quarterback? Kevin says yes. I say nah, but we'll discuss next. Rose Bowl champions probably. We'll be back in a moment.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Here's a question for you. Which Miami Valley golf course was voted the #1 golf course in the Dayton area? It's Turtle Creek Golf Course. Another question. Which golf course was rated the #4 best public golf course in the state of Ohio? That's right, Turtle Creek. And which course was rated the 18th best in the USA with green fees under $50? Right again, it's Turtle Creek. Here's my last question. When are you going to get your pals together to come out to Turtle Creek Golf Course and play? We're an easy drive to Greenville. See you soon at Turtle Creek.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. This ad is sponsored by Janelle and Associates Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas. Attention all former Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts. If you were sexually abused by an adult scout leader, even if the abuse happened decades ago, listen closely as you may be entitled to substantial compensation. The Boy Scouts of America have billions of dollars in assets and have agreed to set up a victim compensation fund for victims of child sexual abuse, even if the abuse happened decades ago. Our attorneys can file a claim for you and get you the justice and closure you deserve while you remain completely anonymous. If you suffered abuses from scout leaders and those who knew about the abuse but failed to stop it, call our law firm's confidential Scout Abuse Hotline at 800-836-4209, as you may be entitled to substantial compensation. But hurry, as time is running out to file a claim. Call 800-836-4209 right now to see if you are eligible for substantial compensation. Call 800-836-4209. That's 800-836-4209. 800-836-4209.
No. Yep. No worries. Be there in a jiffy.
Did you know a jiffy's an actual unit of time? 1/50th of a second.
Well, did you know Cricket has nationwide 5G?
Whoa, so I can use my phone faster than ever.
Yup.
Okay, but how many jiffies would it take exactly? 1 jiffy? 2 jiffy?
Surprising, but true. Cricket has nationwide 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Compatible plan and device required for 5G access. 5G may not be available in your area. For 5G coverage, see cricketwireless.com.
In uncertain times, you can be certain of this. The Salvation Army is serving those most in need with help and hope. Thanks to your donations, the Salvation Army is helping those affected by COVID-19, those who've lost wages, who have no home to retreat to, who need food, help with utilities, and most of all, hope. To see how you can continue to make a difference, visit GiveWestwood.org. GiveWestwood.org.
Summertime is the perfect time for family fun. And for a family meal that's easy as a breeze, stop by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken and pick up a 10-piece breast strip meal for only $19.99. With Lee's, homestyle can happen anywhere with 10 golden brown breast strips, 2 large sides, and 5 fluffy biscuits. It's the easy way to turn up the heat this summer. Get a sit-down meal made easy with our 10-piece breast strip meal for only $19.99. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
Family owned and operated for 3 generations, Collett Propane and Collett Seal Coating are proud to serve the Miami Valley.
Collett Seal Coating reminds home and business owners that now is the time to protect your asphalt from the ravages of old man winter. Extend the life of your surfaces and protect your investment. Call us for a free quote at 937-372-9194.
Or find the full family of Collett companies at collettservices.com. We've been taking care of families in the Miami Valley for over 65 years.
Welcome to another Fantastic Four golf hole experience with the Buy Golf for Half Bogey Boys.
We're playing in Miamisburg at the classic Arthur Hills designed Pipestone Golf Club. Pipestone is one of the most popular courses in the Miami Valley, and it's got to be one of the best maintained, too. I mean, it's a beautiful golf course. We're at the tee on the second hole. Hole number 2 is a long par 5 and Pipestone's most difficult hole. The fairway slopes severely right to left, and there's water down the entire left side, too. I bang my way up the fairway somehow, staying out of the water, and 4 shots later, I finally see the green. It's a sunken green that slopes back to front. Keep the ball in front of the hole, I try to tell myself as I launch my next shot toward the green. Miraculously, I land 3 feet in front of the hole and put it in for my bogey. That was a real test of my game. I tell you what, you should get your pals together, book a tee time, and come out and play Pipestone. Stay tuned for more Fantastic Four golf hole experiences. See you at the next hole.
Visit buygolfforhalf.com for half-price golf packages from Pipestone and other great local golf courses around the Miami Valley.
Not so long ago, lots of things made people happy.
I used to love going to the gym.
I miss saying good morning to my coworkers. Today, there are still things that can make people happy.
Oh, how pretty.
A beautiful bouquet of flowers will definitely make someone happy.
First Florist and Greenhouses can help you make someone happy. Go to firsttheflorist.com, choose a bouquet, and they'll deliver it safely. Make someone happy with First Florist and Greenhouses.
Third floor study hall.
My dining room table. Homeroom Monday and Tuesday. My living room Wednesday to Friday.
Wherever school happens for you this year, Staples has amazing prices on everything you need, from lap desks to computers, desk chairs to UV sanitizers. This week at Staples, a 2-pack of Elmer's glue sticks, a 24-pack of Crayola crayons, and comp books are just 50 cents each. Shop in-store, pick up curbside, or order online. School on, save on. Staples. Ends 9/5 while supplies last. Limit 30. Limits vary online. Curbside available in most stores.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ace is the only national retailer that carries Benjamin Moore paint, which means the paint you trust and a huge selection of colors are right in your neighborhood. And right now, when you buy a sample of Benjamin Moore paint, we'll give you $5 off your next paint purchase. So if you're looking for award-winning service and a new look for your home, look no further than Benjamin Moore paint at Ace. Offer valid on gallons of Benjamin Moore, Clark & Kensington, and Royal Paint. Limit one $5 coupon on 1 gallon purchase at participating Ace stores only. See store for additional details and exclusions.
Did you know that right now Geico is offering an extra 15% credit on car, motorcycle, and RV policies? That's on top of what Geico could already save you. Visit geico.com to learn more.
He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer. And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots. He's Dayton's own Keith Byers. Hang out with him every Monday at noon on The Keith Byers Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken.
All right, and we are back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on a Wednesday. This week is flying by. Keep in mind, coming up this Friday night, it's week 2 of the high school football season, and we have the ESPN Dayton High School Football Game of the Week presented by Kettering Health Network, Orthopedics, and Sports Medicine. We had a great one to kick off the season last Friday night. Centerville at Fairmont. Centerville came away with a 21-20 win over Fairmont. And again, Fairmont may have lost that game, but they were just as deserving of that win. That was one heck of a matchup, and I expect an even better matchup coming up this Friday night. Springfield, we have the Wildcats for the first time this season. They'll be on the road at Centerville. We'll get to see Tayshawn Smoot go up against Chase Harrison. 2 quarterbacks right there. Vastly different styles, but 2 of the top quarterbacks in the GWAC, and I'm excited for that. Again, Springfield at Centerville. It's our ESPN Dayton High School Football Game of the Week. By the way, head to wingam.com. Who you got? Who you picking to win this weekend in our ESPN Dayton High School Football Game of the Week matchup? Springfield at Centerville. If you are a Centerville fan or a Springfield fan, or you have family that plays at either one, head to wingam.com. Show support for the Wildcats or the Elks, and let us know who do you think is going to win our ESPN Dayton high school football game of the week. I'm curious people's thoughts on that again. So show some support for your teams. In fact, I'm pulling it up now to be able to kind of give you an update on what the percent of the vote is. I checked earlier today. Springfield was up 60. It was 60 something to 40 to 30 something a little bit ago. So I'm kind of curious what the percent is at now, as of course our internet is being super slow. And a time that I need it to be fast, they're just like the Reds. Every time you go to our internet is like the Reds. You try to count on it when it's important, and they just let you down. Man, it's still loading. I'm trying to stall as much as possible. I feel like David Bell waiting to the last minute to go to the bullpen. I'm waiting on this thing to warm up. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. All right, so you hear the baseball music there. Speaking of your Cincinnati Reds, Reds back in action tonight. They wrap up the series with the Cardinals. Thank goodness. It has been absolutely horrible. The Cincinnati Reds, here's your lineup. Joey Votto, Nick Castellanos, Jesse Winker, your 1, 2, and 3 hitters. 4, 5, and 6, that belongs to Eugenio Suarez, Mike Moustakas, and Brian Goodwin, one of the newest Reds in acquisitions from, of course, the Major League Baseball trade deadline this past Monday. Jose Garcia, Shogo Akiyama, and Tucker Barnhart. There's 7, 8, and 9 hitters. Votto, Castellanos, Winker, Suarez, Moustakas, Goodwin, Garcia, Akiyama, and Barnhart. Tyler Malley will look to slow down the hot bats of the St. Louis Cardinals coming up here tonight. Let's check. Let's do one more time. I worked this time. So right now it's 60% in favor of Centerville now. So the percent took a swing in favor of the Elks. So again, head to wingam.com. Who you got? Who you got winning this matchup? Our ESPN Dayton High School Football Game of the Week on Friday night. We have the Springfield Wildcats at Centerville. Right now, the vote is in favor of Centerville. The popular vote belongs to the Elks. 60% of our listeners think the Elks will beat Springfield coming up this Friday. Chase Harrison's good, man.
Yeah.
I've been hyping that. I'm gonna talk about him a ton this year. I was about to say overhype. You can't. I'm not gonna. Overhype is a bad thing. No, this kid deserves all the hype. He didn't even have that great of a game this past Friday, and the Elks still won. All right, we're out of time. Fun show today. We'll get into that Ohio State playoff thing with Tate Martell tomorrow. Because
what's the early results?
Early results are 2-1 U. 2-1 U.
Typical.
But they're both Michigan fans, so there's that. How about that? All right, folks, have a great night. We'll do this again tomorrow. Take care.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Wendy Knoll Golf Club in Springfield is Central Ohio's